All right, guys. Welcome. I hope this works. Let's see what we got here. Yes, it should have. Okay, so I've taken just like a whole day off here, like a full-on. I've just been like relaxing, doing nothing basically, except playing I broke my rule. I was only supposed to do 1 or 2 games a day, and I've broken my rule today. I swapped to EU and did my placements on EU. To see where I'd come out. So I played a lot of Firebrand games today. I've done nothing but watch Next Generation clips, Deep Space Nine clips, a random... Would you believe it, right? I found a podcast on YouTube, right? It's called, like, Alpha Pod or something, right? It's a podcast with Aaron Eisenberg, who plays Nog, right? From Deep Space Nine. Garrett Wang, who played Ensign Harry Kim on Voyager, like these actors that were in the show in the 90s, the shows in the 90s, bringing other actors on. They do like a podcast on YouTube, and it gets like 100 views. Like nobody watches it. It's just these guys just uploading talking about their careers and like getting interviews. It's so weird, and they're doing it with like I think the guy that produces it was on like Big Brother or something. It's a very, very, very strange thing to have come across today. Anyway, I watched like 2 episodes of that, and it was all right. Yeah, they got like Tom Paris in on one of them. They got Quark in on another one. Really, really bizarre stuff. Anyway, yeah, I've been looking at that, and then I got distracted looking into the whole Discovery mess, which I've still not watched, but I started reading into all the licensing issues that they're having with Star Trek Discovery now. And it looks really bad. It looks quite awful, to be honest. And I'm really kind of worried about it now because I hadn't got to the shows yet. I thought a new era of Awesome Trek was unfolding now, and it was a good time for me to have become a fan. But it actually looks like a complete disaster, which is really worrying as well because Patrick Stewart announced he was reprising as Captain Picard. You might remember I talked about that and said, oh, that was kind of exciting. I guess we'll see how it goes. But if you actually look at the statements and behind the scenes, it looks like that also might be a disaster, which is like seriously depressing. So, hey, who knows? Anyway, you guys don't watch me for Star Trek stuff. I'll be back in a second. I am just loading in game here. I'm on EU today. We'll do EU today because that's where I already am because I was doing my placements. Then we will go to NA for tomorrow's stream. It doesn't really matter because we're doing the story, but there will be plenty of opportunities to play with. Now, let me be very clear. You can play with me, but if you are coming into the story and we're doing it with 5 players, you have to go slow. You have to be really casual about it and basically let me go first. And in fights, chill the hell out because the ArenaNet don't make a good multiplayer game when it comes to the stories. So, look, this is the difference between EU and NA. You find people casually rocking legend tags on EU, and on NA you don't. You got to go slow, because otherwise you'll cut off loads of dialogue. I'll miss dialogue between combat, and in combat you'll cut off dialogue and mechanics and things as well, which we want to share and experience. And this isn't just story, and it's not just lore we appreciate. We do the whole bonanza, just like in the LP, right? So, you know, that means going a bit slower. If we want to be entertaining and show the glory of the patch to the world, then it means more than just playing the game like you normally do. So I will open it up and you guys can play, but if it's a bit crappy, I might just do it solo for the rest, so we'll see. Anyway, that will all be shortly. But yeah, as I said, so I got like 10 game of the days to pick now. I came out slightly higher on plat this time. I got quite a few games to pick for tomorrow. I don't know which one is really entertaining. There's some that are really, really good gameplay, but not anything interesting to talk about. Some are the complete opposite. So I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I'm going to go to the intro. This isn't going to be a particularly long one. And I will see you all very, very, very shortly. Go get your coffee. Go buckle up. And yeah, I don't know. Well, hold on. Let me just see what people say in chat. Because otherwise, I'm going to go away. I'm going to come back and I'm going to have all of this to read and then blah, blah, blah. So let me just see here. Alpha X Neo says, I finally got myself a Twitter account for the artsy stuff I do. Now I just need to link those instead of Facebook. That's awesome. I'll be able to get them on stream much better. I was thinking about that last night, actually. I feel really bad because I've not showcased your stuff very well. And I have so few people who do fan art and stuff. And I feel like, it makes me really happy. And I feel like I don't appreciate stuff enough. So, yeah, I will try to show that off. In fact, if you throw me some tweets, I'll have a look. I haven't really looked at any of my social media today or most of this week, honestly. What's my Twitter name? WP. Exact same name as it is on YouTube. What else we got? I'm beginning a proper Ash Legion operation by activating chat. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. The little I'm live guys video looks pretty good with all the chat rolling away. I like it a lot. You actually dislike Twitter, so it's just going to be there for WP and commission stuff. What do you know, the platform itself you might have objections to in the way it can... It robs discussion of all nuance and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it is just a platform. You can curate it however you like. As much as people make fun of people who create their little safe spaces and stuff, at the end of the day, that's a legitimate way to use it. If you know, I've been a Twitter user for years and years and years now. And I've never had a problem with Twitter because I use it as much as I want it to be in my life. And I don't let it absorb anything else. It's mostly a work thing for me. I'd never have a private Twitter, personal Twitter. But yeah, so I don't know. It can be what you want it to be. You don't have to dislike it, I don't think. But hey, it's up to you, obviously. If it's some kind of, what's the term? What's the word where people actively don't consume a product? Oh, if it's a boycott of some kind. Oh my god, what is all these emotes you guys did? I said it wasn't a day off. Look, Twitch, to me, this is so easy, a Twitch stream. It drains the hell out of my energy, but it's really easy. I don't really consider it... So, if, like yesterday, I skip a Twitch stream, but I do a load of other work, that's still a day of work to me. And you guys are saying, oh, you took a day off yesterday. I didn't take a day off yesterday. I did plenty of stuff yesterday, important stuff yesterday. I just didn't stream. Today, if it's the reverse, I do no important stuff, but I stream at the end. It's still a day off to me now. Today I would call a day off, even though I'm here for you. Does that make sense? Anyway. We'll see whether the Straits of Devastation event can be a thing after this. I don't know just yet, though. Rileski, it's good to see you, dude. Been so long since you watched the WP stream. Well, today's one should be good, hopefully. You heard that Seth MacFarlane, his new show, is a better Star Trek replacement from what you've heard. Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but the Orville, lots of people talk about it. Apparently, he was even in some discussions about Discovery before it all went, like, completely antithetical. And I don't know. Until I watched the products, I can't judge them too hard. But yeah, word on the grapevine is that he's reimagined Star Trek in the late 2010s better than anyone at Paramount or CBS has managed to. Time sure does fly, says Flying Chicken. It does, man. 25 months. That means you're still going. Even after the 2-year mark, we've still got you. That's awesome, man. It's good to see you. Yeah, it does go too fast. Should we just rewind the clock another 2 years? That'd be kind of cool. Am I allowed to listen to this in the background while I mark my students' work? Only if you do a little doodle of a chart in the corner of the worst students' papers, because what they'll do is they'll look at that and be like, wow, my teacher's a fan of Guild Wars. Guild Wars is amazing. I'm an underachiever at school because I spend all my time playing MMOs, but my teacher plays it, so that's cool. I guess I'll focus. Boom, there you go. You've reforged them. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even know at what level you teach. Question from yesterday. Do you think they will put Desmina in the living world now that Krauk is in the mist and she is basically the god of death? I don't know whether it's fair to say she's basically the god of death, but that the fact that, yeah, all this mist stuff is about to happen on these streams we're about to watch in the Starter Guide story, yeah, I think it's totally plausible she'll have a bigger role to play. Totally plausible. You're planning on potating a potato flower. Does that count as fan art? I think it does. Right. Patrick Stewart's great in American Dad. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons to respect his body of work and stuff, right? But the thing I've always thought that he does like no one other, and the true thing that he does well, because most people will just, you know, rap out some you know, you see at like conventions and interviews and stuff, people just come out with these boring ass platitudes about why he's so great. Here's why he's great, because he's one of the only people I've ever seen successfully straddle the line of classy while still completely debasing himself with ridiculous roles like you see in American Dad and doing stuff like the Emoji Movie and stuff. And I think it takes a very special kind of class to be able to do that. A lot of other people try it and just fail and end up a bit cringy, but he's just found that perfect formula. Telling your worst students to play more Guild or Soup. No. It's like it's reverse psychology, you see. Orville is like the bad episodes of Star Trek with a bit of comedy. It's charming, though. Yeah, I don't know what popular opinion really is, but people like some really cheesy, horrendous episodes that are playing with interesting subject material, but are just trash. So, like, there's an episode of Voyager where 2 of the characters get merged in a transporter accident, and now they're the same character. And it is such a bad episode. It's terrible. And yet people are always, oh, that's one of my favorites. Listen, it's a distinct textured episode that you will remember, but simply remembering it does not make it good. You go back, actually watch the execution of that storyline. It's atrocious. It's just memorable, and that doesn't mean that it's good. And that happens a lot with Trek, I think. A lot of the really weird episodes and out there episodes that really don't work are somehow lauded these days, and they don't deserve to be. Anyway, there you go. I don't know why I'm offering criticism for Trek stuff. I will see you guys in just a moment. I'm going to publish that YouTube video, and we'll get on. A star to guide us. Tell all your friends. Hopefully we'll have a good one. See you soon. All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope we're all doing good. Oh, I need to sit up straight. Need to slap my face and get awake. I'm actually just going to get on my knees instead of in the chair for a while. Do a good big stretch. Oh, my goodness. All right, hope everybody's all right. Are we ready for the big day? Are we ready to do some starter guide us? I know a lot of you guys have been looking out for it. Just to start the stream off here, just to remind you all, if you want notifications for when this goes live, if you've just seen me tweet or something like that, you're afraid you'll miss the subsequent episodes as they come out, do remember that you can follow me on Twitter, and I tweet most streams. Not all of them. If I think that one's going to be particularly crappy and lazy, I don't tend to do it. But a lot of them I do on our Discord as well, which we are continuing to grow. And I want to keep growing. So more of you going in there. We do giveaways on there. We do community meetups on there. There's access to the in-game guilds through there. I type in there an awful lot. We talk about more than just Guild Wars. It's a good place. If you're lonely and on the internet, and I know you are, all right? Listen. Who are you kidding? I know you are. You don't have to be lonely anymore. You just join us on our official Discord. We're an affiliated Discord partner. You get all the cool emotes and stuff in there. Look at that custom URL link. Yeah, so good stuff. Yeah, or you can do but YouTube, I don't post a video announcing every stream I do on YouTube, do I? So I only do that on rare occasions because I hate the thought of spamming out mini videos like that just stops people clicking the regular ones. So, yeah, anyway, today we are going to be playing a starter guide us. I just want to quickly catch up with the comments. Somebody had a really interesting message on the intro there, right as I left. Let me scroll up and find it. Oh my god, you guys talked a lot. Okay, what's your thoughts about the fact that in the trailer, we see our Char telling Aurene, how about it, Aurene? Are we ready? And pointing with his head behind them. But it didn't end up in the end. Maybe this is a hint for episode 5. You know, I didn't really think about that at all. That's an interesting thought. How often have we ever seen ArenaNet do that? Much or not much at all? Let's see. I actually kind of want to play you guys the trailer as well. That could be something really cool to do. So let me just grab it for you all. I think I already have a copy and I'm about to get a second one, but whatever. Used to be much better at this stuff. Don't judge me, chat. I'll get this stuff ready. We'll hear a ding soon, and that'll be that the trailer is ready. Oh, there it is. Straight away. Okay, let's hope this works. Go. Alright, so let's watch the trailer. You guys are going to love this. Got you. Yeah, alright, sorry. This is the wrong one. This is from the raid stream we did. Here we go. All right, trailer time.
Her name is Aurene.
A scion of Glint chose you as her champion.
Now where could she be?
You set about preparing her
Any progress with Aurene?
to someday face the Elder Dragons together
Give it all you've got!
and restore balance to the world.
Do you feel the weight of those words grow heavier with every passing moment?
Aurene has
How
the
is that,
potential to
Livia?
not
What?
only destroy Krau Katorek, but also replace it.
I hope you fare better, my sister. I hope you feel full of purpose.
Aurene's had a premonition, a vision of the future, of multiple futures.
Do not let them, or yourself, forget what you are.
How about it, Aurene? Are we ready?
Is it maybe something ready for you, Charlotte? All right, so what is it? Is it Sun's Refuge? Maybe, I don't know, because I've not done the Sun's Refuge stuff yet, and I could easily see that might be a thing. What do you think? Maybe I wouldn't be surprised to find that it's that. Yeah, but then Vlast as well. You guys are right. Vlast never appeared in that trailer either. Anyway, so that's what we're rolling into. The death of Joko at the end of the previous episode. The fallout of... well, not really fallout. The fate of Ilona now rests in whose hands is kind of the question. And, well, we will go ahead and figure that out. Let me just scroll through chat a little bit more here as well. I think there's tons of things we're overlooking in the Deadeye instance. I put some nonsensical ramblings on your recent video. I think I might have read those. Yay, my body's ready for this. I'm glad. This is EU for today, but it's stories, so there's only a maximum of 4 of you that can play with me anyway, so don't feel like you're missing out. Your odds of getting in no matter what region were extraordinarily low. I think there are a lot of things in the trailer that weren't. Yeah, the Vlast thing is... a disappointment now. Now that I see that, I remember actually, like walking into the Deadeye instance and realizing I hadn't seen Vlast yet and knowing, wow, there must be a lot of the patch left. And then after I had that realization, I never thought of Vlast again because the rest of the thing just blew my mind so much. Now, what I'm gonna do for these products here, these streams, is I'm not gonna like openly spoil stuff that's coming up. I'll keep a lid on it a little bit. You guys might mention it in chat, but if you're asking me to speculate in too deep specifics, so we mentioned a Deadeye a second ago there, that's not really a spoiler, but I'll try and keep, like hard and fast facts about what's about to come up off the table a little bit, just so that there's that entertainment value there for the 2 guys that haven't played this and are watching me nonetheless. In fact, do me a favor. Not many people are here yet, but do me a favor. Type a 1 in chat if you have not played the patch and yet you're watching this stream somehow. That would blow my mind. Is anyone there in that situation? And not a troll, all right? If I see anyone type in 1 there that I recognize their name and clearly they've played it. That's a really weird idea. No. F off. There's not that many people. Why have none of you... How have you found your way to this and yet you haven't played? Oh, God, I'm scrolled too much up on chat. I'm missing your messages. Hold on. I'm skimming really fast here. Looking forward to the story, exploring the idea of the Cabal, and if they really intend to tie the wings together. We'll talk about the raids a bit separate, I guess. Slap my face like the warrior heal skill I speculated with Boots at some point. Hype! Boots has got another video with us coming out soon, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I just don't know when it's going up. Alright, scrolling down. What are my thoughts? Yeah, I just gave those. Hey, WP, I haven't played Guild of Sea for 2 months after Path of Fire release. Do you think it's a good time to return? I think you've got a ton to go through. Okay, if you haven't played since 2 months after Path of Fire's release, does that mean you didn't even get episode 1? If you have episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 to play through, you literally have the length of the expansion to do. Again. Like, they have doubled the playtime of the expansion for the Golden Path. Right, guys? Anyone want to dispute that in chat? More or less? I reckon it's about double at this point, isn't it? 4 acts for Path of Fire, and we're now 4 acts out of Living Worlds. I would say as well that the third act of POF was extremely short, if you guys all remember. Kind of got the Tangled Depths treatment, and we rushed through. They've easily doubled it. And then if you go for achievements and stuff as well, you got a ton to do. There's a new mount available. All the big headlining features, they've got something for you. And the story's really good as well, man. It hasn't had a notable dip. It really hasn't. I feel like I've lost some ability to make these comments because I'm very enthusiastic about a lot of stuff a lot of the time, right? But seriously, let chat be my witness here. Does anyone in chat want to put forward the case that the story quality in the moment-to-moment has got worse since Path of Fire? If you're going to put forward that case, do so now. It's like we're getting married. If anybody objects, and then also explain why you think that. But I really think, like the quality you got out of dying and coming back to life, the quality you got out of visiting the mists, they're matched by equivalent story beats in the living world. Exploring Farina for the first time was an incredible moment. You're going to see right at the start of this patch, they have a moment comparable to our first visit to the desert. You're going to see a moment this patch comparable to when we visited the mist before. There's not a downturn. There really isn't. So if you are a fair weather player, you've got a good chunk of stuff there. All right. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Taxi cab. Vlast is in the mist, please. Such a sad and tragic story. I love Vlast. I love Vlast too, Rav. I don't even think that Vlast animation is anywhere in the game. And that's the thing, right? That's why I was so sure it was going to be in the patch, because they wouldn't build something just for a trailer. Maybe later? Did the devs talk about it on any of their streams? Oh, I got so much to catch up with. Don't even get me started on the AFC stuff, because I've not looked at it yet. But I know there's some bombs there. How many of my viewers don't have POF? Maybe we can poll them a bit later. WP feeling a little less stressed today. Not really, because when I miss work, I just get stressed about the fact that I haven't done the work I wanted to do. It doesn't go away unless I can meet the standards I set for myself, which I always, I guess, set too high. Either that or I'm too lazy. One or the other. Anyway. Finally, the face reveal today. You got it right there, man. What do you see ArenaNet doing for next big content release? Similar situation to what we just had with A Star to Guide Us. I'm curious as to why you asked that question, Mustache Matt. We are graced by the presence of one of the big Eternity donators there, by the way. It's good to see you back. Same story. Some story beats got worse. Some much better. Overall quality is getting better. No, so Shatter, what I'm saying is I don't care about your opinion of the writing or the direction. I'm talking about implemented story quality, if you get what I mean. The various ways in which they deliver story, the speed and audio balance, and how much dialogue is balanced with how much gameplay, the environs we visit, the mechanics we deal with, and the bosses in the story, all that stuff. I would discuss the writing on a totally separate level. But if ArenaNet decides next patch to reveal that Kralkatorrik is actually a little girl that loves fluffy bears and she just wants to hug us, and then that's it, the crisis is averted next episode. If they do that, right, which would be horrendous, but the implementation is the same, I would still say that it's not dipped from POF. The direction has obviously dipped, but that's a very different story to me. But even the direction, I think, has improved. This release especially so. It feels much more high quality. I don't know what it is either, tangibly. It's just because, I'll tell you what it is. It's because they're doing everything you'd expect that's cool to do, and they're doing it. And it doesn't feel like experiencing this. Here's the thing. For many years, many years, 2012 up until right about now, there's always been that lingering dark underbelly of the story, which is this, for us as gamers. That the story I appreciate on multiple levels. One is just appreciating the face value of it, but the other side is always being painfully aware that the devs are in a balancing act to see what is in scope and what is not. What can they actually pay off on? What did they manage to squeeze in versus what did they not? It's kind of an analysis of the compromises they had to make, and you're always painfully aware of that. It feels like this release, there is no compromise happening, and you forget about that, and you do just get to appreciate it at face value. Or at least this is one of the first moments I've ever really had for the story where I get that, Even POF in its big bulk release is marred a little because there's obvious moments where you're like, ugh, that obviously didn't make it. This should have been a bit longer, but it didn't get the whole way through. So, and certainly with most Living World episodes, you can feel it. But this one, no. Episode 3 was my only issue with this whole living story when it comes to story. Everything else was meh or awesome. That's a very weird comment, because I don't know whether that means you liked it all, thought it was rubbish, or what. Do I work 7 days a week? I tell myself that I'm always going to have Wednesday off, and then I never take it off. So, yeah, but look, don't turn that into some weird thing. I've got a very nice, cushy, pleasant experience for work. So if I work every single day and I don't have a holiday for 8 years, it's fine. All right, it's fine, because the work itself is, it's not like I'm going out laboring, and it's not like I'm having my soul drained out in an office. Anyway, oh my god, there's an angry kid outside my window angrily throwing a bucket on the ground over and over. What? Dude, that's strange. I've almost caught up. I think your LP and picking which story arcs to show helps you draw parallels to the devs and their scoping. What am I raging over today? Nothing. I'm pretty good today. A bit sleepy because I've eaten a lot today. But, yeah. For once, I'm not hungry while streaming. The compromise since POF and has been and continues to be interesting alone in politics. You might have a point there, Shatter, actually. Yeah, maybe. Maybe there's not enough of that side stuff in it. Definitely. Maybe there is still compromise happening. Well, obviously there is. Alright, anyway, there you go, guys. So, let's get on with it. Let's go down to Chinatown. Now, the first decision is what we are going to play a star to guide us on. So, unlike on other streams, I'm not going to scroll through all my characters for reasons. But, you guys generally know what I've got. Does anyone have any major suggestions for our character? And you might think, well, this is a boring question. Why is he going on about this? It's not really, because it changes our voice actor. So, male, female, 5 races, and then class on top. So, you get various levels of flavor here. There's also, I believe, a human that followed Balthazar gets a bit of extra dialogue in this release. I believe engineer professions get a little bit of bonus stuff this release. Deadeye, the profession, might have something bonus this release. What else is it? I don't know. I'm not sure what else. I did hear about something else on the story video we did. I think someone pointed something out. So, lots of people want to do human. Now, unfortunately, I'm quite limited for human characters on my account. Is this a human? It is. It's a human Firebrand. I've never played Firebrand for story in open world, ever. Sorry, I'll turn the depth blur off. You guys obviously aren't going to care about that on the character screen. So, for a human, I don't know which humans followed. I mean, I have a Weaver. I could play a Weaver. I mean, they've been buffed recently. Might a Weaver finally be fun for this kind of content? Generally speaking, I don't like Weaver very much at all. I have a human male Weaver that follows Balthazar. Would you guys like that? Because that's who I played POF with. And I know that everyone wants the Balthazar thing because of the Balthazar dialogue, which I've not heard, but I know it exists. I don't know what would be fun for me. Did WP post his Guild Wars 2 hook preset? This is not a preset you're looking at here. This is the base game. I've turned the preset off here. Alright, we'll do Weaver then. We'll do Weaver. I just got to find where he is. So hold on. Oh, he's here. It's not a problem. Right. Okay, so if we're going to play Weaver, I need to actually put some gear on it. Which you're going to see this inventory is like original. Look, he's here. Oh, no, I did clean his inventory out right now. I've still got all these runes from when I had legendary armor on him. Let's see what we've got going on equipment-wise. White armor. And this is skin to the Binding of Ipos, but it's not actually the Binding of Ipos. It's just an exotic focus. I think I'd probably want to play dagger or swords. Probably. So I've got a warp blade. Do you want to play a hybrid Condi build? I don't know. I mean, Dagger Weaver's pretty weird as well. It's got some skills that I haven't seen very much. No, I'm not going to go in with white armor. Obviously not. I'm going to go to the bank first and we'll see what we've got. I like how I'm starting to get a lot of money in game again now because I'm PvPing again. No, I'm not going to do it in white armor. The game is genuinely tuned for Rare Plus now. I really feel that. And it kind of has to be, obviously. I appreciate the party invites. See, here's the other thing. If we play in a party, it really doesn't matter what I do, frankly, because everyone else is just going to slaughter their way through. Don't know why I went to the Kodan there. I spent so long taking screenshots of the Kodan recently, so I just want to say Ifrix. Is Ifrix in chat? Ifrix, if you're in chat, please type something. Or if Ifrix isn't, but you're a friend of Ifrix's, can you go get him? And in the meantime, I will try and figure this out. Should we play like Sinister? Since we're going to do it in a party, should I play a Condi Weaver? I have everything you need. I mean, I have Assassin's gear. That might be kind of fun. An Assassin's Weaver? Alright, let's play Assassins. Screw it. I'm going to play Assassins and see how we feel. Go Grieving. I don't have an Ascended Grieving set. And I can't, or did I? No, and the Legendary Armor's on one of my like, raiding characters. So I think the Mesmer, so I can quickly swap. Discovered last night that Scepter Mirage is actually a much harder hitter at the Twin Lagos than several other options. And then we'll just put Zircon over here. Why are my trinkets missing from that? Don't know. It's kind of strange. Anyway, so that's fine. And then weapons. I mean, of all Ascended gear, weapons is the bit I care most about. We have a Berserker Dagger. Focus? Should we just run Focus for funsies? Just because whatever, I guess. Fine. So Weaver. And we will run Weakness. And Crit Chance. I'm going to run Bolstered Elements here. I don't care about 7% damage here. I want a bit of Quality of Life. And then I'll probably run... I mean, it's got to be Elements of Rage, probably, right? Do I want to do Arcane? Arcane is just made for Weaver for open world, I think, probably. I'll run Super Speed just because it's fun. I'll run... Aeromancer's Training. And then Fresh Air, probably, just because of the flow of the class. Might be a bit more fun there. I can't be bothered to juggle a ton of Conjures. I want a bit more Quality of Life. I'll probably run Stone Resonance. These two together will round me out a reasonable bit, because I get Stab on that as well. Shall we try the Water Stance? This has to be one of my least used skills in all of Guild Wars 2. And it's on the class that I have most hours on. Seriously. This is such a weird skill to me that I've so rarely ever even considered being a part of Guild Wars 2. Should we run Weave Self? I don't want the Signet either, not in open world. I want something more fun. Hello there. I bet that Twist of Fate feels horrible in open world. I bet it feels really, really crap. I'll run this glyph for the blinds and stuff. This isn't a great build at all, by the way, but I'm only doing it this way because I know I have party members. Why do we have two? I don't know what's going on there. That's fine. No food or anything. What's our runes, by the way? Scholar runes. Alright, that's fine. Whatever. Okay, we're really glassy. It's a silly build. We might be dead a lot. Let me look at the arcane traits again. Evasive Arcana. Final Shielding and Precision. I'll take Heal on Elemental Swap instead. I'd love this on Zealots. Zealots might be fun, but then I'd probably just want to go Tempest Zealots. Right, so these two were keen, right? So you guys can join on my party now if you want to play. And that's it. So just to be clear, if I go to Story Journal here, you'll see I haven't beaten the core story, but I am a Zurich of Parathia and I follow Balthazar. I'm an Elementalist. I study all the elements. I wear a gem that symbolizes my love of Earth. I was raised... Balthazar, the god of war, blessed me when I was young. Now, I can mention this during Path of Fire, which this character has beaten. Missing some achievements in these later bits, but this character's beaten that. For Living World Season 4, I haven't touched it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's how put off by Weaver in the open world I was. That I just haven't touched it now. But it has been refined and tuned so much recently. I kind of want a sword. I mean, we got Warp Blade. It's not perfect or efficient or anything, but maybe we can run that. We can swap between the lot. All right, okay, so this is EU for what it's worth, guys. And, yeah, I'm going to start the story now. Now, just to be very clear here, let's put Reshade on. You're basically going to be looking at the best graphics I can do while still hitting your 30 frames for the stream. However, audio, I have to be very careful because I don't run an auto ducker anymore. because it was just fiddly as all hell. So I need you guys to be very, very precise with me about when the volume is too low or too high or whatever. I'm going to guess that this is a reasonable balance right now. This is actually what I was using for raiding capture footage before, so the effects volumes will be quite low. The other thing I want to do is... I'll treat this like the LP, in that what I'll do is I'll disable first-person camera, and I'll have enabled camera shake, but disabled player camera shake, okay? So, yeah, we'll do it that way. And this is it. Ready? Palawa Joko has fallen. Oh, here we go. No, Palawa Joko is gone for good, and Elona can finally begin to rebuild. But when a leadership summit in Jahai is unexpectedly interrupted, Elona finds itself at the center of yet another crisis.
Commander, how fast can you get to Jahai?
Why?
Well, Zaim is hosting a summit for all the different Elonian factions to figure out what to do now that Joko's gone. And he's trying to get them to stop hating and fighting each other long enough to form an alliance. It was all going okay until Aurene... Well, look, Aurene crashed the summit and now she won't leave. Everyone's panicking and Joko's loyalists are ready to riot and Aurene won't listen to me and I don't know what to do.
I'll be right there.
Okay, good. Meet Bram at Vitendi Vineyard and he'll bring you into the city.
Mustache Matt says, can we get an equip left, equip right for rings and trinkets? Oh, what, on the context? Yeah, that'd be alright, I guess. Not major for me. Okay, so yeah, we hear that Arena's crashed some summit that we weren't a part of. It's always a little bit of an awkward, weird moment for the devs there, because they kind of have to hand wave why you're... Like, what is essentially happening here is we bugger off and do our own thing between 1 and 2, and 2 and 3, and 3 and 4, and then 4 and 5. And they kind of got to hand wave why that is and stuff, because in the year 2019, someone will be able to come back and zerg their way through all of this, and there won't be that break. So they just kind of, you know, there's a slight hurdle in the writing there, that's all, which they get through reasonably well. This will be our outfit for today, by the way, guys, just because I can't be bothered to do Fashion Wars. Maybe, do we have a mini? Do you guys care about such things as minis on these? We do, we have a mini soldier. I think that's very appropriate since now he has his sentience. Okay, so, yeah, let's go to Corner. Find a discreet way into Jahai. We're going to meet with Bram at the Vitendi Vineyard. So, moving on over here. You know, I feel pretty good about this today. This is the first time I've done one of these story things where I've done some content on the main channel. I know that I'll do a really good version of it in the LP, but it's many months away. I feel pretty focused. I don't feel like I'm overlapping or doing anything silly. It's nice. Right, so yeah, we're at Vabi. It's dark, and one of the things you might have heard me already praise this patch, but I really enjoyed, is we open up right here. Now, we don't have to walk through Joko's place, but this is the most natural, the Vitendi Academy. This is the most natural waypoint people come to, and they'll be directed here-ish. And when you come in, you're just immediately reminded of all of Joko's influence on the world. If there's anywhere that showed it best in the entire expansion, it was right here. I cannot wait for that Lion's Arch music to leave. I can't tell you guys. This is such a good place for showing the effect he had on the people's minds. And we open up, like, now knowing he's dead, you know? And it just kind of recontextualizes the whole thing. Makes it feel really cool. Look at him fighting Zaitan there. Dead. We dealt with this. He's becoming a thing of the past. And it's beautiful because the devs will do that here. And then they will also do that when we get into the map as well for the other big villain recently. And it's kind of... I wonder whether they intentionally did this. Because they could have had us start over here with the Talcora stuff. Now, you might think, well, the Talcora stuff was a side quest. You don't need the Griffin, blah, blah, blah. But this just made so much sense. This is the Baddock Caverns here. You know, if you overlay the historical guide, the Baddock Caverns and all this was always like the main sort of entrance you'd think. But they don't take us over there. They have us on this. You know, they could have had a new waypoint maybe. I don't know. So I wonder what all their thinking was on that. You got to think as well with the Talcora thing. Even though it was a side quest, it was also referenced in the main story this release. You haven't seen it yet, but you will. They talk about Talcora right then and there. I wonder if that changes.
If you could assist us, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man. I wonder if that changes if you don't have a griffin, you know? Anyway, so you'll notice I'm walking here because I really feel like mounts completely ruin my... They ruin my immersion, man. Ugh. I like walking, all right? And I like realizing and feeling how vast Vabby is, okay? And remembering the core areas and pretending that ArenaNet added worthwhile, repeatable content here, okay? That's what I like doing. So we're going to walk nice and slow. How am I drawing on the map? You hold left shift and then right click. And for as long as right click is held down, you're doing good. Alright, let's try and fight something, shall we? Oh yeah, I can explode my auras now, can't I? Crap. And how many aura applicators will I have? I don't oh god, yeah, and I got this one here as well. Oh, this is going to be a real lesson here. I am not familiar with Dagger Weaver stuff whatsoever. I guess I can double tap because I'm on fresh air. Okay. So we can double tap here to get that back. Hey, that felt pretty good. That's just because he's weak, though.
Return to posts.
There you go, Mr. Awakened. I hope you're happy with that. We get a portrait of Joko's ascension. Official portraiture is expensive and highly scrutinized, but eyes skilled enough to depict Joko's flattery are accorded great respect. He's that difficult to make look good, but some people accomplish it. So there is a question of how we get to the new map. What will their devs do? Will they expand Vabby to have a new entrance fully? Will they change the terrain and the geography and stuff? Well, they didn't really. They were quite clever about it. I don't remember whether this building was always... Truth be told, even here, I remember that there's the vineyard, right? And I remember some of the collections had you, like, get stuff from the vineyard. But I don't really remember this building. I don't know whether the devs added it fully. So this here you would gather from for, like, a collection or two, I think. This one right here. You see this? Vabian Heirloom Graves. Can't remember what it was. Grapes, sorry. Graves, did I say? But yeah, the way the devs have opted to do it is with a door that basically just opens back here.
Commander!
Here we get Bram, fully phased.
There you are. If we don't get Aurene out of there soon, Udamishi and the others are gonna start a war. Again.
Udamishi's at the summit.
Yeah, it's been a weird day. You'll see when you get there. Don't want to cause a panic in the city, so we'll use the back way in. Old Corsair route, right under Joko's nose. We can head in there whenever you're ready.
So the whole idea we don't want to cause a scene, I don't really get. I mean, well, I do, but then they won't pay off on it in any way. I don't know why they make it like we do an old Corsair route. Now, here's the funny thing. It's described there as an old Corsair route, and I'm sure someone in chat is doing it already. I've seen people suggest that this is the Badok Caverns, that this is the place we saw all that time ago in Guild Wars 1, but it's totally not, guys. It's in a different area of the world, and it comes out at the Chantry of Secrets, which is not right. That's not the same place at all. So I don't know whether it's the devs trying to have their cake and eat it too. And if it is the Badok Caverns, well, they cut out the entire thrill of going through the caves. What I would have loved, can you imagine if this was meant to be the Badok Caverns, if they had a little bit more time with the patch, they could have had a whole introductory instance where you're just going through the cave. And it's a very simple, refined story, not trying to do anything crazy, but basically you're just traveling through, you know, and they're all right with it. And you just kill some stuff and you talk to Bram. But no, we're just going to kind of cut through. I think it's fine though, right? Also, you'll notice they have us start off right by a djinn here. Are you a warrior of both body and mind, or a simple barbarian? Answer my riddles to prove yourself.
What is your response to this?
It has many tongues, though it cannot taste. It can always be fed, but can never gain weight. What is it? A fire.
That was a simple question, but well done nonetheless.
Thank you very much.
Can you answer this?
The greater amount you have of me, the less of others you will see. What am I? Darkness.
Was that luck or
Why can't it be
true
friendliness?
knowledge? Can you answer this?
Regal in color, though born of the earth, when crushed and aged, I can be of great worth, sorry. What am I? Grapes.
You are correct. It seems appearances deceive.
Cheeky.
What about this?
Some wish to be rid of me, for others greedily yearn. All have me, but once I'm lost, I'm never to return. What am I, youth? I knew that was youth before even finishing reading it. It's got to be youth, right?
Mortal, you've proven to be quite clever.
Why can't it be friendliness just because friendliness is nice? No, I thought the idea was if you're not friendly to people, you will see less of them. And wasn't that the point? It's like seeing less of other people. Debt. Some people wish to be rid of me. Doesn't everyone wish to be rid of their debt? Nobody wants to be someone else's creditor. So, yeah, I don't know. It's cool to start off with a Jinn because the Jinn have a lot of prominence in this patch overall. Not necessarily the story we're about to experience, but the patch overall. All right, here we go. So, in we go. And I'm not going to be able to talk much because they do a beautiful sequence. And I'll just say straight away, I applaud how we go past Balthazar. It's the same, the statue of Balthazar. It's the same as what we saw up at the Academy a second ago. I applaud the Chant of Secrets. I applaud the echo in Pram's voice you're going to hear here. I applaud the replication of that first mount ride we get way back when with the gazelles moving along. This entire scene is fantastic. And all the timing works perfectly. So let's just go for it.
Why is Aurene even in Jahai in the first place?
She's been all over Alona lately. Defending villages, cleaning up the branded. Pretty impressive stuff. Joko hit Jahai pretty hard, so I'm guessing she swooped in to check on him. Seems like it took a lot out of her, though. Collapsed right there in the summit room.
Collapsed? Do you think it's because of...
Eating Joko would give anybody indigestion. But maybe she's just trying to do too much.
She needs to pace herself. We've still got Kralkatorrik to deal with.
About that. Taimi wanted an update on Kralk. Only we can't raise Kaz and Jori on the comm. She's starting to worry.
I'm sure they're okay. Keep trying. Let me know as soon as you reach them.
Welcome to Jahai, Commander. The delegates are all inside.
Here we are. I think I'll stay outside. Seeing Uramishi makes my fist twitchy.
All right, okay, cool. So there you go. I just didn't know when Bram would start speaking again. And so what you'll notice as we follow Bram into the fortress, you get this cool moment here where you can actually have the optional dialogue with various people, which we're totally going to take advantage of course. There's a cool background sound effect right now as well where you can hear actually the people chattering, and it really feels like you come into quite a busy, populated place. I'm hoping you guys can hear it on Twitch. Well, you have to tell me if the audio's wrong. But yeah, so let's see what we've got. Loyalist civilian.
Fools. Celebrating his death? How quickly they forget all the good he did for Alona.
The heretics will be punished for their treachery.
So it's cool here. I don't even have to press F. The devs know. They're becoming so much masters of this, right? They know that if I'm walking here... This place is called the Archon's Retreat. Kind of cool. They know if I'm walking here, it's for the extra dialogue. And it cleans it off the map so that you know you've got it. It's just so well done, you know? It's just smooth and natural. I wish the friggin' personal story was like this instead of me having to press F 1,000 times after every story beat on every little NPC in the hopes that they might say something or something different.
Aren't you scared? A year ago, they would have killed you without a second thought.
A year ago, they didn't have a choice. Now they're free. All they want is to feel human again. Give them a chance.
People would like the dialogue to be a bit louder. Well, can I just be clear? I've already maxed dialogue out hard, and everything else is extremely low, but the other sounds might drown it out anyway, so I've just turned it up a bit more for you there. So just keep telling me if you want it even louder, but it's pretty loud at the moment, guys. Right, anyway, so yeah, we got that. I didn't even take in what they said there. So yeah, the first group saying, you know, it's realistic. There are people loyal to him still, obviously. Guild Wars really makes that term loyalist feel like such a sour thing, you know? Aren't you scared? A year ago they would have killed you without a second thought. Well, a year ago they didn't have a choice and now they're free. Yeah, so, okay, we're meeting with the enemy, but are they still fundamentally the same enemy we once knew? Well, everybody's got an opinion. I like how there's like Sylvan Hounds and Priory hanging out here as well. You know, there's such a cool mix of various NPC types.
I know it's stupid, but I can't shake the nerves. It's just... It's so long since I've been... a person.
You'll be fine. Listen, your descendants are gonna love you.
So they start doing something really cool this patch that they never definitively answer. And you gotta like be very on the ball to realize what's going on. He just called himself a person again. What does it mean for these guys to get their mortality back? Well, you've seen even I'm struggling with what that exactly means over some of these more recent streams where we've been in the new map. But that's a huge thing. What is this guy now? Well, I mean, because clearly, physiologically, he's still got a hole in his stomach and he's still totally messed up and only existing because of magic. But to what capacity now? What has happened here? Well, I guess they can still just be killed through brute force, but otherwise they'll just linger forever. Not a bad deal, really. They're like the immortals from that hit TV show, Helix, the best TV show ever.
Those filthy undead creatures expect us to treat them like people now?
Ugh. It's like a Dolyak asking to sit at the dining table.
Look, and even here, their form of prejudice is of another one. Not that they're oppressed and, you know, scared and untrusting. They just straight up see the Awakened as lesser, which is kind of cool. All right, so, yeah, there you go. That's all the initial opening dialogue. But the devs let you basically just skip if you really want to. Bram stays outside. By the way,
let's just wait for the commander to arrive.
You expect me to watch while the monster that ate our king just sits there, licking its chops?
Clearly, it's acquired a taste for Awakened, and now it's back for more.
Aurene wouldn't do that. You don't know her.
Do you?
So, the Jahai Great Hall, we'll go on in. I can't remember what I was in the middle. Yeah, Bram's design's pretty cool. You see, like, his glowing, enchanted bow, and it makes you remember a crack in the ice a lot in this patch. I don't know whether it was just me, but, you know, where things turn sour between us. Which obviously is very relevant in this story.
Thank the gods. Commander, welcome. Do you think maybe you could relocate your dragon?
She won't budge. I think she was waiting for you.
Well, I'm here now. Aurene, we need to leave. Let these people do their work.
Ha! Not even the so-called commander can control her.
Urameshi, really?
So, here's the problem. You guys can't hear her roar because effects volumes are really low because I don't want the combat to drown everything out. So, Aurene, please fix your fucking audio. I don't know what to do, really. You'll just have to pretend you can hear that. I just had a donation. That's insane. So, yeah, again, thank you so much. What the hell? That's so lovely of you. Thank you. That was really, really sweet of you. Thanks so, so, so much. I really appreciate that. Hey to you too. Sorry, I was just turning notifications on. Realizing there, we've got another Hoffman just subbed. Darius Senpai subbed as well. Oh, yeah. Hey, if we've got a mod in chat, do you guys want to do a giveaway for some gems? Are there any mods around? Rav, I saw you earlier. Oh, God. I'm so indigested. I ate way too much today. If Rav is still there, let's do a giveaway. I don't know if he is, though. Every time I say this lately, we don't have any mods. Some Awakened are like time travelers. Some are hundreds of years old and their relatives are long gone. Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, we'll see a lot more of the dialogue. Anyway, so yeah, Aurene, you know, we hopefully are forming a bit more of a bond with at this point, and we actually have to come up and press F. She's regarded as the adolescent dragon. I'll note as well, did anybody else see this? Particularly playing an Asura and being able to compare to myself, I noticed this. Taimia's got a huge head. It's okay, we can stop growing her now. she's you know, becoming a bit of a monstrous Asura now. Or at least that was my impression of her. Maybe it's just because she scales up a bit in the vehicle. Or the perspective. Oh, Rav is there. He doesn't have Nightbot set up. Okay, cool, dude. Yeah, let's do a sub-luck giveaway if you can, Rav. For 400 gems. And I want to do that because if we can get a few more subs, it will be pretty hype because we get another emote slot. Yeah, it's not just me, right? Big Mac, proportions do feel off, don't they? Yeah, her head is big. Okay, I'm glad everybody sees that. Last release seemed like the story was top notch, but the map suffered. What, if anything, suffered this patch? What, if anything, suffered this patch?
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
You know, I really don't think it's fair to... I mean, I need an answer to that. Otherwise, I look like I have no objectivity, right? So there has to be an answer to that. What suffered more than anything else? As always, I think the mastery was one of the weakest points of the patch. I think the excitement afforded the community from the release of a new legendary is lessening with every patch, and this one is not different. You know, the scepter doesn't cause stirs like when Chukun Champawat was added, for example, or Eureka was added. But they're small things, man. They're small things. The story's really good. The map's really good. Good replayability. A new big-ass world boss with an infusion drop, meaning it will be trafficked for God knows how long. They didn't completely just... Alright, here's the thing that sucked. I guess people really hate how the economy went with Sigils of Nullification. I personally am not on that rage bandwagon because I've not interfaced with that part of the game yet. But so that, maybe, is a really good patch. What can I say? Better than episode 2 and 3, I think. And probably episode 1, but it's been a while since I played that. Alright, Aurene.
Aurene, let's go. This is no place for a dragon, and you know it.
Nice touch with us emoting a lot here.
All right.
Nice
now
touch
we're
with the
getting
love
somewhere.
hearts.
I'll get her out of the city. Yep, for a little stroll, Aurene? Or maybe a long one?
So Timey leaves. Aurene goes with her.
That's how I expected today would go.
There's going to be a ton of talking here, and I can't talk over
Since you're
it.
here, Commander,
So
could you
just
help
enjoy.
me calm the delegates? We need to get this summit back on track.
Oh, no, I can talk. It's not yet. Yeah, so Aurene and Timey leave. Notice how all of our allies are legendary rank now. They're all up there. So yeah, we speak to Zaim first, which I think is pretty cool. He feels like a pretty good right-hand man and start. So we get 4 distinct factions that are all meeting to all, you know, convene and decide Elona's fate. Who has the biggest stake? And I think that the 4 factions the devs picked were really smart ones. So, first of all, Utamishi, who, well, I'll just press F. So, what's your stake? Now, this is not an Awakened, remember? This was a living collaborator to Joko's empire and kingdom, and responsible for the governance, and very highly ranked. Despite not being undead, he was afforded a position of power and luxury over his suffering brethren, mankind, to propagate and sustain Joko's iron grip. When we first met him, it was when Joko was missing in the mists, having just been betrayed by Balthazar, and he was sort of sitting on the throne in the meantime, right? And we met him at the Bone Palace, while disguised as a certain someone else. So, yeah, let's see what he has to say. He was very much a villain before, but he survived POF. Those later stages where you'd think he'd be in it a bit more, we didn't see him much.
Representing Joko loyalists, you remember Grand Vizier Utamishi.
Former Grand Vizier. Your commander saw to that. And if you think I'm negotiating for one more second after you send a dragon to assassinate us...
Utamishi!
If that was my plan, you'd be dead already.
Leave the summit now, and your demands leave with you.
Okay, so yeah, Costage just pointed out.
Fine. But I will be treated with respect, or I walk.
Look at this. Former, as soon as you establish, or he establishes, that he's the former Grand Vizier, they even update the nameplate. Like, this is the kind of stuff. Listen, you guys want to know why some games feel AAA and have a lot of polish and feel really worth. This is it. This is what love and passion from the devs and the writers actually delivers on. These little things, they're everywhere. Like the love hearts on Aurene in the middle. It just feels so good. There's so many little things like that. We can't press F on him again after that. But yeah, I love, obviously, we as the commander, they're getting pretty good at making us feel like a badass. I liked the human voice acting there. Yeah, you'd be dead already. So, hey. So, yeah, these are like, you know, they're loyalists, Joko loyalists, and they, they're not necessarily good guys. They're not defined by their species or type biologically, but just their philosophy about how the country should be run. Maybe they liked Alona under Joko's rule, obviously, right? So you've got, like, fairly standard undead. What's the difference between these two varieties of undead, for what it's worth, by the way? I don't know if I've looked deeply enough into it. Anyway, so there you go. And, like, why are some undead like tar monsters and others not? Why are they so small? I'm like the biggest you can be as a human, I think. Alright, anyway, so, hello. This is Iberu. So, when we first met Utamishi, we were disguised as Iberu. Remember, in Path of Fire, we kill Iberu, and we assume his disguise with Kazmir's help. And for essentially the second part of all of this story, really, from here and all of this, we are pretending to be this man. So a lot of the people we met and relationships we formed and stuff were like fake because the commander wasn't there, he was here. Now, in truth, we did drop the disguise at several occasions, obviously. But yeah, turns out when we defeated him there in the Desolation, he wasn't gone for good.
Arcana Beru, representing the Mordant Crescent.
You're back.
I've died plenty of times, Commander. It never sticks.
I trust we can put this incident behind us?
Why, Zaim, I was the picture of diplomacy before the dragon showed up. Anyway, I'm sure we'll all get what we deserve.
Oh, was Iberu at in Istan as well? He must have been. I'm getting hazy on the Istan thing. That's why, by the way, guys, once we're done with these story streams, we're going to go straight into the Istan ones, which I'm really excited by because I distinctly remember getting major Uncharted vibes when I went to Fariner in that patch. And I can't wait to share with you all. So anyway, yeah, so we got a faction of loyalists. These guys will be very like-minded as well, but remember, these guys are essentially fallen Sunspears and twisted Sunspears, right, as Mordant Crescent specifically. Also, I'll note as well, the other really fascinating, cool thing about this entire instance is you've got the Order of Shadows ominously stealthed around. And just having them stealth like that adds a really sinister tone. The devs could have just had them standing around, but they decided to go as far as making them move in shadows. And that makes it feel really sinister. Don't make me play that audiobook again, talking about how these guys were playing the field to keep things in chaos so they could have an upper hand, right? Like, these guys are really intimidating. And the devs do something beautiful here, because as we play this bit of the story, what we're thinking is, oh, I wonder if the Order of Shadows are going to crash this party. Well, that's what I was really titillated by when I was first here. Really thrilled. Oh my god, what if it's the Order of Shadows that are they're gonna ruin all of this? Look, they're all standing around. And I think they very deliberately have you thinking that. There's also Priory, like looking at the scrolls and stuff. I don't know, man. It's cool. Like, this isn't accidentally here. This isn't duped over from the open world. Someone was like, oh, it'd be cool if there was a Priory scholar looking at stuff here. You know? Anyway. So, then we get Khosan. So this was great to see as well. So already the three factions have had something exciting about the character they picked and what they do. So now we get, speaking of shadows themselves. Khosan, is this his first introduction in Living World since we saw him in the Desolation in POF? And was he a part of the Griffin event quests, I think, maybe as well, maybe? But yeah, so this is the great descendant of Kos, working with the Order of Shadows, and very much was a straight-up hero when we interacted with him in the Desolation.
You remember Redeemer Khosan?
Of course. You're Kos's relative.
Welcome to the show. Quite a circus, even before your dragon showed up. These people aren't gonna play nice anytime soon. All that centuries-old hatred and distrust.
I don't expect them to like each other. I just need them to agree on something. Anything.
New tyrant, maybe. Nothing brings people together like a common enemy.
Yeah, so Kosich just confirmed my suspicions there. Yeah, this is the first time you see him in any story instance. So this is such a cool thing for the devs to have done, right? And immediately I was really happy with. This is the equivalent of like, I mean, Core never did anything like this, right? There was never a cool NPC. I'll tell you what it's a bit like. You know how King Razor appears as just a random heart vendor on this map? Imagine if King Razor appeared as a part of the story, like 3 episodes later, right? There weren't 3 episodes later. We went into a new expansion, obviously. But King Razor was here, and then, but to take what has been handled as what is a cool character in lore but has been handled as a minor thing in the game mechanics to then put to the forefront is brilliant. Like, putting him here is a demonstration of writer and designer understanding, right? They understand that the community geeked out about Khosan, that Khosan was a cool character, and they understood that now that they've given the Awakened sentience and, like, that Kos is around, it's just, they kind of know what would be good, you know? They're not out of touch on any level. This would be cool, and here he is. He steps up in the story. He's not just left to, have that little tiny role that they just used cheaply earlier. They continue paying off on him, and they're seeing. It's like they're just seeing where these characters go, letting them interact with one another and act as they would act, you know, and they're not scared to try it out, and it's good. All right, and then over here, we have Ambassador Siana, who, as far as I remember or was aware at this point, is totally new. So who are you?
Ambassador Siana. She speaks for the Free Awakened.
Free Awakened?
We've shed the chains of servitude for the promise of a new life, and we're grateful for the second chance. Oh, and by the way, I trust you got in okay. The route was my idea. Yeah, remembered it from my Corsair days.
Thank you. Again.
All right, so before I trigger this next bit... Oh, no, we have to go.
Reasonably okay. If you're up for it, I'd like you to stay for the rest of the summit.
All right. I think the gem giveaway is up, guys. You will have higher luck if you are subscribed. Please consider subscribing. With just a few more people, we can get a new emote. So you can do that for free with Twitch Prime. You just click a button near the video player and boom, you're in. That's it. It takes like just a couple of seconds. It costs you not a penny. You get a ton of cool Guild Wars 1 emotes that hopefully people can show off. And you help the channel out a little bit. I'd love that next emote. You get a higher chance to win the gems if you sub. So please, please, please do consider. There you go. Somebody did it. Listen, look at how quickly someone did that. That's how fast you too can do it. Your name will appear on the stream as well. We're just looking for a few more people. So that would be awesome. I don't know how many we need. We need like 40 points or something. So, yeah, the more the better, guys. Twitch Prime, sorry, if you have Amazon Prime, you know, free shipping on Amazon and stuff, then you get it for free over on Twitch with just like a click. Or you can literally spend like a couple of bucks, and that would be super cool as well. But obviously, I'm not going to ask that of you guys. Sailvoid, thank you. Apov, thank you. Alphametric, thank you. Regulator 414 and SK Church. You guys are all awesome. You have plenty of time to do it, and you'll get in. Rav won't do the giveaway until you know you've had time. So yeah, the more the merrier. And thanks, guys. Okay, cool. So let's see what we got here.
Now, delegates, we were discussing the need for a governing council. Post Palawa Joko.
Again, you assume he's permanently dead. They call him the Immortal King for a reason, you know.
He's not coming back this time. Aurene made sure of it.
Says the outsider whose entire reputation depends on that being the case. Is that why you sent that thing here? To flaunt your victory? To scare us into abandoning our king?
Look, Joko is gone. We have to come together if we're...
Come together? With the toadies of the monster who killed us? Awakened us? Made us his slaves?
Traitors! As if I would debase myself by sharing a table with someone like you.
What did I tell you?
Wait. Where did these Morden Crescent come from?
Ah, there they are. Now we can finally begin the main event. I was willing to indulge this farce, I really was. But once again, you had to bring your dragon in, to threaten us. You're a danger to Alona. You all are. In fact, the best thing for Alona would be for all of you to go away.
Guards?
This land belongs to the Morden Crescent, not to the weak, the ungrateful. Awakened, Sun Spears, you're all pathetic. And now, you're done. We're taking Alona back, by force. Enough!
Urkon!
Kos!
Commander, good to see the sun again.
Oh!
Anybody else got a problem with peace? Go on, you can speak freely. No? No one. Suit yourselves. Now then. Spear Marshal Zaim has offered a treaty. Debate is over. This is the part where everyone votes. What say you?
Under the circumstances, we agree to your treaty, Spear Marshal.
As do we. From this day on, the Free Awakened are yours to command.
You are welcome among the Sun Spears, Ambassador.
Gods, I'm going to vomit. We're not joining you traitors. We demand land of our own, where we can await Joko's return.
Oh, Joko's dead. And Kralkatorrik is still out there. You'd rather sit on your hands than help us take him down?
What about your dragon? The one who's actually terrorizing Elona right now. The real threat isn't Kralkatorrik. It's you!
Commander, I finally heard from Kaz and Jory, and it's not good. They lost Kralkatorrik.
Define lost.
They said he just vanished. I think he...
Oh, this is hype. Look at the lighting. Okay, can I stand back here to delay? Oh, listen to how ominous the music is. There's so much I want to talk about there. There's so much, guys. The line from Utamishi... Ugh, God, I want to vomit. I love that line. It was so well delivered. I freaking... He's my spirit animal. All this togetherness. It makes me want to be sick. It's brilliant. By the way, a lot of people on Twitch just followed me. Following is not the same as subbing, okay? Following is just a mechanism so you know when I'm live, which is cool, but, you know, that's totally your own prerogative. So if you just click the follow button thinking you were getting higher chance with the gems, you weren't. So you might want to look at the other thing if that's what you're trying. Anyway, here we hear about Kazmir and Marjorie. I just fought the temptation to call them Kaz and Jory there, because I don't like those nicknames. We have to be more serious about it. Yeah, we hear about Kazmir and Jory. That's like their only influence on this patch. I'm really starting to wonder what the hell, whether it's something with the voice actors or something. I mean, what? There's just no opportunity for these characters, really. I mean, there's been minor opportunity. And I really appreciate and respect that the devs are continually nodding back to them to make them feel full and a part of the plot, you know? So when they do next come in, it doesn't feel weird and like they've been away for ages and doing nothing for ages. We keep hearing news about off-screen people. But, you know, by the end of this patch, so many characters are going to be right here in the spotlight, in the story right now. A lot of Dragon's Watch, Destiny's Edge, all kinds of stuff. And, you know, those two basic functions of this group, just not around much. Benji there in chat says, I think they just don't want to overdo the cast. I disagree. What do you mean they don't want to overdo? Look at where this patch ends. What? I mean, well, I don't want to get too spoilery. So anyway, yeah, Koss, obviously, that's the other big thing. Koss is back. I can't give us a good look at him. I've played this a couple of times, actually. If you watch on the right, you do see Koss just suddenly spawns in. He kills a guy off to the side. He comes in, he saves you. I wonder if the devs have actually removed a boss fight here. Because if you do a big boss fight against Utamishi, or not Iberu, sorry, Utamishi wasn't in the fight. If we had a boss fight against Iberu, but the idea is that Koss saves us at the end, it might have felt really crappy and weird. And I can totally imagine that playing out on their internal servers. That you fight for your life, you basically win by getting the boss's health threshold down. And then Koss comes in, it's going to feel like a kill still. So they opt for this instead, where he just grabs you. It's a cool animation. He pulls you in from really far away, locks you in place. Why I think it was probably once upon a time a bigger boss fight is because if you mouse over, it says, it's got like a name for the effect. It says it reduces your toughness. It's got all this stuff. And I can't imagine that was implemented because the devs expect people to mouse over and read the flavor of the tooltips while also absorbing all the dialogue at the same time and not missing a beat. They're not relying on that to deliver the threat of the situation, right? So I think it must have been a fight. No, my luck. They've already revealed on a stream that yes, it was and blah, blah, blah. But that's basically what I was thinking. And yeah, anyway, Koss comes in. So now we're in a situation where Koss and Kossan are together. Kralkatorrik's gone missing. It goes all crystally. The storm comes in. It's beautiful the way that they do that. It's ominous. Let's get back into that moment.
Shatterer!
Commander, do something!
Oh, now I'm the commander. Everybody out.
This way!
This is not good. I gotta find a way of doing this. Hold on.
Brandon, turn them out!
Commander! What was that?
Kraut sent his lieutenant after us.
But that Shatterer is supposed to be dead! Oreen's in no shape to fight. I'll try to get her out of the city.
So, we get the death-branded shatter. What's this buff on me? Anthem of Flame applies burning on my next attack. What? Since when was this a thing? Who gave me the Anthem of Flame? That's a Paragon skill, an ultimate Paragon skill. That's so cool. Who gave me that? That's hype as hell. So everybody's going on ahead. Oh god, there's too much to talk about. Yeah, I'm gonna try and find a good way for the audio because we're just not hearing any of the Dragon Roars or anything.
Listen, there are 3 Awakened trapped in the room ahead. We can use them as a distraction and escape.
You can't be serious. We have to help them.
You do what you want. I'm getting out of here in one piece. Are you with me or not?
Guess not. Zaim, take the others and get them to safety.
But my people!
I'll help them. Go.
All right, so, yeah, pretty goddamn cool. Nice comic relief, essentially, there. Funny stuff. Well, or is it? I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to feel really threatened by that moment. We're basically in another sneaky little instance now.
I'll break the wall down.
So these guys are scared of that. Yeah, and basically we've got this cool, like, weird boss fight where the death-branded Shatterer is gonna smash through the various walls.
Oh God, the dragon!
I know you're scared, but you're strong. You can fight back. Follow me and I'll get you out of here.
So help the Free Awakened escape the Shatter. If you look, he continues slamming down, and if you get caught, we do go down. Now, it's a game of getting all of your allies out without getting them killed. So we get the special action hotkey to call them over.
I'll protect
you know, I've done various discussions on runes and stuff in the game before and how they could have tied special action hotkeys to rune perks. So it was more skill-based because you had to manually execute stuff. But that all became impossible as soon as they started doing special action hotkeys everywhere because it would overlap with your rune and be weird. And then we start talking about having multiple ones. But I have to say, seeing the game at this point, all the cool ways they utilize special action hotkeys, I'm actually fairly happy that they do it this way instead of, you know, having done the rune system overall. Because it's just so cool, the different things they can accomplish now, you know? So anyway, yeah.
Commander, I'm reading more Free Awakened ahead of you. Oreen, stop! You can't fight this time!
So yeah, our job is to flee, get the hell out. We keep getting these reports from Timey about how the dragon wants to get a piece of Kraut, which is cool. Makes Oreen seem a bit badass, you know, a bit more badass than normal at least. And we'll continue along.
People in those crystals. I'll get you out.
So there is an achievement here as well to save absolutely everyone from these crystals that will shatter and kill them if you're not quick enough, and also not leave them all under the fists of the death-branded Shatterer, which is totally possible, by the way. I've already got it, so I don't particularly care this time. We'll see. But let's see.
Come to me. I'll protect you.
It's a pretty cool little gameplay interaction they have here. Because it really does feel horrible when you make a mistake and you get them killed. It feels bad. The first time I played this, like here, if they were standing there, they'd die. And it doesn't feel bad because you missed the achievement. It feels bad because, I don't know, just the NPCs, you feel like you've got to protect them somehow.
Over here.
So the idea here is you're supposed to put them all over here. And the other ones, by the way. You see these ones over here, the old ones? There you go, we just got one killed, so whatever. We don't have to be completionists. Sorry, there's no extra dialogue or anything. These guys help you in the final fight as well, the more of them you have alive. Oh, we got to get them all. All right, never mind. You got to get them killed or out, I guess. They don't let you just sort of skip ahead. Come on now. Come on, everybody. Here. It's less fiddly than it looks, because once you've got them bundled up, you only have to press the special action once and you get them all going. Now, I can Obsi Flesh, so I'm not very scared. Alright, there we go. Oh, I missed one of them. Whoops. Come on now. Does everyone have the special action or just me? So, like, it's kind of panicky, right? Like, I missed that guy and it's like, oh, God. Anyway, so let's get going in. Need to remember what the Earth 3 skill functions differently now. I'm certainly not using this as well. I'll just put that on for now. Oh, we got one of these guys to deal with. Can explode the aura to shock him. That is a much closer PBAOE than I expected. Okay. Wait, were people complaining about the achievement for Protect Them All? I got that first time playing without even looking at it. I've never seen anyone complain about it.
Gone?
Aurane, please! Ugh, I'm trying to get her out of here, Commander, but she really wants to fight! Ugh. I need your help. I found a path leading outside. Ugh. Can you head east and meet us there?
I'll do my best, assuming the Shatterer doesn't...
Oh, the Shatterer!
Time to move!
Hee hee hee. So that's kind of cool. We have a Tempest on Gale Song, which means they automatically use a stun-breaking shout when they get CC'd. So what's supposed to happen there is the Death-branded Shatterer has a new ability, a Fear ability, which is very Zaitani and undeady, which is cool for what it's worth. So here, these two are going to die. My bad. Oh, no, they got roared. But yeah, the guy stun broke us all, which is kind of nice. Who are we missing? Oh, sorry, they're over here. Hello, come on through. There we go. So now we have this boss fight.
To me earlier. Now where's that dragon of yours?
You were right, Commander. No running. We won't be chained again.
Damn, that thing hit for 7k there. So here, all the little allies you've built will help you, and it's kind of nice. Obviously, we're just draining through it really quickly, so we don't really get to see the fights.
No! The Shatterer found us!
Does anyone know if Shakira is a Guild Wars 1 NPC in the area?
Hold on.
Anyway, yeah, we're racing, and here is where the patch really... I was already very impressed by this already, but experiencing this was just such a cool mind blow.
You see the giant hole in reality too, right?
Yeah.
Alright, no! Come back! So just to make sure, reality definitely just ripped apart, and the Shatterer definitely flew into the rip, right?
What was that?
No idea. But the energy readings are... I don't even know what they are.
You saw that too, right?
Hey, Kos. And Kosan. And Almora. I don't actually know where she came from. Just deeper in the place?
Not the first time this has happened.
Look, I ran into Almora and the Vigil on the way here.
It's been a while, Commander. We've been tracking that Shatterer since Kralk raised it from the dead. Till it downed our airships and then vanished through some kind of hole in the sky. Sound familiar?
Tears in reality itself. How do we begin to deal with this?
We work together to face the unexpected. We have no other choice.
We'll discuss our options. Following you is out of the question, but perhaps we can work something out.
So not to make things, like, way worse, but I am getting crazy readings from outside. More of those things have opened up all over Jahai. The energy signature is insane. And an entire village was literally just Brandon, as in 5 minutes ago.
What in the gods' names is going on? Taimi, take the group with you to find Aurene. Bram, scout the village for info. I'll check out these rifts.
So much for peace after Joko.
Alright, so, you know, we're kind of on a bit of a boring theme.
I can't believe it.
Do I know you?
No. But I know you. I'm Kosan Dejarin. We should go talk somewhere.
We're kind of in the midst of that sort of Watchmen. I usually associate with Watchmen and think of it that way, but it's not exclusive to it at all. But like that Dr. Manhattan thing, there can be peace as long as we have a common enemy sort of, you know, situation. So yeah, we get like this tentative agreement that comes from the fact everybody realizes, oh, the Elder Dragons are a problem. There's a lot to talk about here. Obviously, Kos and Kosan walking off is pretty good. I already would have been happy with that if that's all they did, just to hint at those two having a conversation. But there's even more that now that they're like, oh, Kos is in the story, there's even more they start doing straight away that's Very, very... It's so time efficient what they do in this patch, because they get Kos back, Kosan back, and pair them off with their little "Hi, we exist" conversation all at once. If they tried to delay or whatever, they couldn't have done that so effectively. So I really like, you know, if they did Kos one instance, then Kosan a different one, and then finally they had to get them both together, and then, you know, they just do it all at once straight away, and it works. The other big thing is Almora here. So someone just said in chat, apparently you can see the airship get shut down. Can you? That's kind of crazy. Is it on the open world map anywhere? What, if I'm looking up here, I see the airship fall down? That's kind of badass. I didn't realize that. If she got shot out there, then... Was she on a different airship? How did she get here so quick? Or was that earlier we see that? Is that right at the beginning when we first see the death-branded Shatterer back at the fortress? When you're looking out? Oh, that would be so cool. Do you see a mysterious airship fall out of the sky? Oh, that would be so cool if you see the mysterious airship and then later it pays off. Oh, that's so hype. I've got to look back at that. Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool, isn't it? Oh, that presents such an illusion of like a persistent world out, kept moving and things. All right, so anyway, they talk about a village getting branded, which honestly I totally glossed over and wasn't thinking much about when I first played this. So later when you go to the branded village, I was like, wait, when was this established? But no, they do fairly reasonably. It's here. They're talking about it. Bram goes to check that out. Now, here's the other thing. Let's speak to Almora first, and then I'll do my little other rant about this. Commander! Oh, someone said, did she start smoking? Listen, the voice actress for one of the voice actresses for female Char quit the job recently, and they replaced them. I think, wasn't that it? Or am I thinking of the male Char? Have both male and female Char characters buggered off? Anyway, she's got a new voice actress, I think. It's Rox's voice actress is what I'm thinking of, isn't it? Maybe it's Rox's VA that does Almora too. Commander, should have known Krauk's lieutenant wouldn't be able to take you down. Wish I'd been here sooner to take a swipe at it. You showed up right on time, and you left me with plenty of questions. Good thing I got answers, she says. So we can ask her, how did you know the Shatterer would be here? Correct using of the icons and stuff? We know that we're going to get voiced audio from this.
Short answer is, we didn't. Saw Kralkatorrik bring his lieutenant back from the dead. Tried to put it down for good. Ugly brute had the gall to attack our ships and then rip open some kind of portal. So we changed tactics. Figured it would try to take a bite out of you, and we were right.
I love how they feel we're a threat. It's just like that core story thing, you know. I want the dragons to think of me as a threat. That's one of the coolest power trips you can give me in an RPG, you know. And we didn't get that with Mordramoth because it was over in the blink of an eye. So then we can also say the Shatterer is still out there. You have a plan to defeat it?
Forming one. I'd rather not wait for the Shatterer to pop up and surprise us. So we're gonna outsmart it. We'll lure it into a spot to our advantage. Then we'll hit it with everything we can get. Worms, griffins, full force of the Vigil. Okay. You should join us out there. I'm gonna send Kralk's lieutenant back to him bit by bit. Just my way of saying thank you.
Okay, that vision of the Vigil assaulting with worms and griffins is pretty hype. It's kind of the next step, isn't it? If Guild Wars is all about, or Guild Wars 2 is all about unity, let's all hold hands and we can make the world change together. La! If that's the idea, right, and I'm on board with that, I have been for many years now. If that's the idea, when you come to the new desert region filled with Hydra and worms and majestic griffins and stuff, it's only natural that at the end of this story arc, we what's the words? Infuse those into our pre-existing forces, right? We suck it all in and we have a much more badass cool thing. Do you remember how Heart of Thorns opened with the cutscene of the packed airships getting shot out of the jungle? Or rather, that's how Season 2 ended. Do you remember that? Well, our new version of that isn't just packed airships and stuff. It's all that awesome other stuff there too. It's going to be great. And that gives me cool, exciting feelies about, you know, going to the Blood Legion homelands one day and going to Cantha one day because of the siege turtles we'll acquire there and the siege devourers we'll acquire and all these other things, you know. So anyway, that's one thing. Another thing, let's talk about the Shatterer, the death-branded Shatterer himself. The dialogue is very specific. Timey, because I've had some people saying, Wooden Potatoes, you have been saying that there are lots of Shatterers and it's just a title. However, in this release, clearly it shows that there was only ever one Shatterer and it came back to life. You're wrong. Let me just tell you now, there's like 5 different people who have said that to one effect or less. You're wrong. Because if we go all the way up and see what Timey actually says here. Where is it? But that Shatterer is supposed to be dead. This is very cleverly written here. What the devs have done here is they've established that this is a Shatterer Timey presumed to be dead, but they don't go into the details as to what or why or how. All they've done is open the door. What they want is to have their cake and eat it too. They want you to recognize that a Shatterer really has been resurrected without trampling on the pre-existing facts, that is, there were lots of Shatterers. Timey here herself does admit that there are multiple Shatterers. That's why she uses the term that, right? So, yeah, this one particular one, she seems to think it came back. Now, the logistics of how that happened is kind of irrelevant. But, yeah, there are multiple Shatterers, guys. It's just that this is clearly one that's come back from the dead. You have no way of knowing if that's the one that was specifically defeated in that one meta event in Blaze Ridge. And the whole idea of maps being locked in time, thus allowing there to be individual things that are world bosses that die now, was not conceived of or fully realized and fleshed out in 2012. That is why when you see like Risen Tybalt in Bloodtide Coast, or, you know, we can say it's not because it doesn't have 2 hands, blah, blah, blah. But that's why everything's genericized. That's why Tequatl the Sunless is just a moniker the Hylek have come up with. That's why the Shatterer is just a title so that they can do that. There are multiple Shatterers. It's not just that there's only ever been one and now it's come back to life. Anyway, it's a cool premise. So finally, the Almora thing. What do you guys think about this? I want some responses about this. There's a conversation I was hoping to have with Almora for a long time that I thought was a very plausible direction for the story to go in, and it hasn't happened here this patch. It was a conversation that I envisioned Logan being there as well, or even mainly with Logan, to be honest, as Marshal of the Pact. Logan not appearing in this release, of course, but being referenced, which is nice. But the conversation is this: Almora realizes we killed a god that was trying to defeat Kralkatorrik. Almora realizes that we're saving Kralkatorrik at POF's release. And the devs have like sidestepped that potential internal conflict just through the timing of everything here. If Almora had appeared next to us not a couple of chapters ago, she would be our enemy, wouldn't she? Or there'd be a very frosty conversation that I would be delectable to present on screen as well. If she saw us do any of this, that would not be a happy char. Especially in this release where they show how obsessed she is with taking it down and how much hatred she has. So the devs sidestepped that whole potential story possibility. What do you guys think about that? Now, it could come up still in the future, but we're like full-on let's kill Krauk mode now. I mean, we haven't even had that moment where we lay down our plans to replace. And I get that the devs are scared of doing that story, that, you know, all that exposition, because they've said it over and over and over again now, and they don't want to do it again just to make sure Almora is in the loop. We can presume that she's in the loop, right? But, yeah, I don't know. I am a little bit disappointed that we know that they don't seem to care about that whole side of it. Maybe I just like the idea of turbulence amongst our alliances being depicted more than ArenaNet does. They seem to have really enjoyed doing a story with Bram and the kind of personal relationship we have with him being jeopardized. But what about a professional relationship of military minds being jeopardized because of a difference in opinion or philosophy? That's a cool fucking story. You guys know me. I've been wanting to break the pact up for years because I think it was the worst contrivance to help the devs escape from time crunch back at launch and robbed the Three Orders of their true distinctiveness. So you know me. I've been wanting the pact gone for a long time. I do like the pact, and I, you know, for what it is now and where it's been set in the story, I don't have any problems with it anymore. But I do think that it would have been kind of cool to see that, you know, particularly with Almora. And, you know, hell, Logan too. Logan, who's still just getting over his blighting from Morgemoth, may have very good reason to think, Christ, man, don't save the dragons. You've done that twice now. I'm not very happy with what you did at Draconis Mods yet, mate. And now you've just gone and done that. The devs will touch on it a bit with the Balthazar stuff as we go further forward. All right, so the giveaway. Who won, Rav? Apparently we're doing the giveaway here. It's giveaway time. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All that's going to happen is we're going to list a name out, and then that person's going to have to wait till the end of the stream for me to send them the gems. All right, there you go. Kero Su4. Congratulations, Kero Su4. And thanks to everybody who did sub with that. That's awesome. Come back to the stream tomorrow. We'll do another one of them. All right. So anyway, interesting opinions there. Who else we got? Sienna?
I appreciate what you did back there. I know you saved as many as you could.
Nice. I like these short, choppy ones. I really like these. This feels just like playing like a... I keep using this term, and it's such a condescending, shitty thing for me to say. But it feels just like playing a proper RPG, you know? You walk over, you press F, they give you their little line, then you move on. I mean, come on, man. Oh, I love it so much. All right, was it just those two? By the way, you guys playing with me have been awesome. One of the things I really enjoyed my first time playing this co-op is, you remember how everyone was standing in a ring here? It's awesome playing this stuff co-op because you and your your player allies stand in a ring as well with all the NPCs there and stuff. It feels good, man. It feels good because you get all the allies around. I guess that's it then. Kos and Kosan have walked off. And we reached the Jahai Bluffs.
Okay, I marked the areas with sky-high energy reading. If you can, try and take a sample from each of them. Those tweaks I made to your comm device should let you transmit sample data to me. And, be careful, okay?
So look at this. Look at all they've written. According to Timey and Bram, Aurene interrupted a political summit in Jahai, and tensions are running high. Bram helped me enter the city discreetly in order to remove Aurene and get the summit back on track. Zaim and I managed to calm the delegates, and get the summit moving again, despite Archon Aberry's best attempts to derail it. But just as the delegates began to work together, we were hit by... Well, that's not really true. They're not very good at these. Whoever's writing these gets their tenses fucked up. Like, what is this meant to be? Anyway... And that's not even what happened this patch. That happened constantly in Season 3 as well. It references stuff that doesn't happen. Or in slightly different versions and orders. Just as the delegates began to work together, we were hit by a surprise attack from Kralkatorrik's lieutenant, the death-branded Shatterer. We managed to escape the Shatterer's attacks, but Aurene is gone, and the Shatterer chased after her, disappearing through some sort of hole in reality. So this is weird as well. I don't quite get this. Aurene never went through the hole, but the Shatterer did, so why do we presume that the Shatterer is chasing Aurene? We haven't learnt yet that Aurene's being hunted, so is this just the journals messing this up here again? Disappearing through some sort of hole in and that's the only thing that felt clunky about that. I mean, visually, that bit was gorgeous, right? But the only thing that was clunky was there's quite a lot of minutiae, little pieces of action we've got to track with our eyes there. You've got to watch that Aurene flies in one direction, the hole is opened, and now the Shatterer is flown through the hole. And it all happens very quick, and it's very beautiful to see, but you can miss little bits. Anyway, even worse, more anomalies appearing throughout Jahai. Timey and I have formed a plan to investigate the disturbances. They did begin to work together. Kos made them agree to the treaty. And then Utamushi said, this makes me sick. This makes me want to vomit. I'm leaving. That's not working together. He was bailing out. He was peacing out hard. So that's one of the factions still hates us just because we may have dealt with their initial little coup. It doesn't mean that, you know, we brought them on board or done any decent diplomacy. Another one's just wandered away from the table, and the rest haven't actually come to any decision making. I don't know. It doesn't feel like we got that far in the conversation. Maybe I'm being too much of a cynic. All right. Okay. So yeah. Right. Jahai Bluffs. We spawn out here as well, obviously, because it's the end of the instance that we're at. The Chantry already up here. The devs gave us the waypoint, which is quite nice. I guess I've already done so much content story-wise on the Jahai Bluffs. We really don't have to spend much time. But what I do want to do is go see Almora and Co. at the Pact camp, because I think that stuff's really important. Also, I seem to remember the game asking me to do the heart here before. Is that not true? Did they not ask me to do that? The Yetendi village heart? Maybe not. Maybe that's just what I did. That's where I first went when I started playing. Grab this cash. Here's another thing that this release wasn't great with. A lot of what should be water for the skimmers to skim on isn't water, unfortunately. So here's the diving goggles. You got to land in the bucket. Oh, it's not even... What? No! That was my 291st death. Oh, man. The only time you'll ever experience full damage deaths in Guild Wars 2 now. Diving goggles. Alright, yeah, so I thought that was actual water. Okay, so yeah, we get Yetendi Village returning from Guild Wars 1. Did we do this in the story recap? Because we kind of did it on the Jahai Bluffs one. And there'll be a lot of Sun's Refuge content, which I'm sure will show us in areas like this, so maybe we don't worry about that. God, I really want to try a Dagger Weaver in PvP, but it's going to be so crap, isn't it? God, it's going to be crap. Maybe I should play some unranked. We'll have to see. So yeah, let's just go to the Pact Camp, because that's got some cool stuff. I'll tell you what's also got some cool stuff. The temple. Let's go to the temple too, because that's more raid oriented, but it's still pretty badass. You guys have already seen on stream me doing the Jinn event, so I'm not going to do that on stream. So here, look at this. Incursion in the brand. This is like what's cool about Ascalon, when you get so many different like magical fuck-ups happening all at once.
Okay, let's grab some data. Wait, do I read? Brand did.
Yeah, so alright, we'll do this. Tommy wants us here anyway. So this is a snowy incursion where there's snow trees and stuff, and Tommy wants to talk about it.
Attracting attention. Time to go.
I'm getting bizarre readings from that creature. Its energy might be tied to the rupture. Focus on that one.
You know, playing a Dagger Weaver now with the aura explosion thing, this skill 3 can be so many different things now. Can rotate through so many different possibilities. Oh my god, what's going on over here? Oh, okay, this will just be the Rift Stalker. Well, let's see how we do in a Zerg, shall we, guys? Spam way too much barrier on ourselves. That'll be fun. Let's get our elite rolling. Go through like that. We're going to water in a second. We're going to double air first. There's water. Yeah, we are Resurrect. Yeah, baby. Let's get some swells up, because why not? Should I stay for the second fire, I wonder? Is that good enough, Timey? This is a total side note, but did you know if they've slowed down 100 blades? No, I don't know that. I can't imagine why they would. Maybe you're just used to having quickness with it all the time. So we stopped the branded invasion. But Timey didn't say anything. I thought she was meant to, right? Did we kill it too quick? Oh, well, I don't know. Sadly, it's nighttime as well, which is not when this map is at its most beautiful. Which is no fault of the devs. You know, nighttime is never going to look as good as the daytime stuff. But, yeah, this place is gorgeous. I love the light in here initially. So this is one of the bounty boards. Is this the only bounty board? Actually, I don't remember any of the other ones. And it talks a bit about the raids. He's got a lot of cool ambient dialogue we're going to try and get. But he says here, some kind of dust up in the Mystic Forge has released strange and terrible creatures into Alona. Can you help me? Just pick a target from the board. What's going on in the Forge? Well, Kadim and Zomaros are sorting out their differences. You know, Jinn, powerful, temperamental, with a penchant for collecting exotic creatures and then smashing their cages. I'm not sure I understand. Well, me neither. I'm just clean up. You'd have to ask the authorities at Lion's Arch Aerodrome for more information. So he says that, and he says some other things. That's the event. We've missed the pre-dialogue where she goes to these Jinn, talks about her backstory. So we've missed that, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll get some other.
Zomaros are at war, and their exotic beasts are raging through Alona. We need heroes quickly.
On the side of the brand. At least he did. I have to know.
You can't cross the brand. You'll die.
That's why I'm here. To ask for your help. Jinn can protect us.
Can, not will. I've been a free Jinn for 200 years now. I'm not going back to servitude anytime soon.
Yeah, so I really like this. This is one of those little moments where they do it a lot with the brand. Even in Corteria, they do it very well with the brand. But basically, the sensation that...
Glorious archives and antiquities.
Yeah, glad to see you too. Commander, I appreciate the help. We'll see what intel they can extract from this.
They need to fix that audio. This sensation that the brand is huge. This guy can't even move this tiny bit, this 10 seconds of gameplay for us. He can't get through. But I like that. I like that when the dialogue can express aspects of the world that the game can't possibly anymore. But yeah, the Jinn are so cool, man. They made the Jinn so cool in this release because of the raid and these ones here. They're so indifferent and cruel.
And then you saved us over and over again.
Not exactly. Man, it's not Maguma either.
If you help me cross the brand and find my brother, I'll give you anything you want.
There's nothing I want. No, that's wrong. I want you to stop bothering me. Go home.
If I do that, will you help me?
This is great. And what the devs are subtly doing, guys, I'm telling you, all right? Why all the Jinn exposition, right? Well, number one, because they've kind of established some pretty crazy stuff about the Jinn in the previous releases, right? But this bad boy here, I'm telling you, the Hidden City, all right? They're subtly, oh yeah, the Jinn have helped us many times in the past. Have we? Yes, you have. You have. You were bound to a giant, massive, enormous, hidden, rich city where the humans went to hide. And it sounds to me, considering you can resist dragon corruption to some extent, that hiding there might be a pretty fucking good idea now as well. Especially with all the interdimensional rifts and stuff around. So, hey, I don't know, man. At some point this season, let's really think about this. 4 more episodes? How many episodes are we going to get? Are we saying that there's going to be 6 or 8? If there's 6, what are the next 2 episodes we could have? What are the next 2 maps? I know there's those really tacky Reddit posts that everybody likes at the moment, where you just try and pull it out. There's just too much territory I want. But the Hidden City... Maybe the Hidden City should be like an add-on to a map, similar to how Farina was an add-on. But I really want it to be a big thing. This is so important to me, but maybe that could be a Season 5 thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Alright, anyway, so yeah, this place is cool. Let's go to the pack camp now. Let's see this knocked out airship. Somebody just asked me how I would rank this episode's story to others. That's going to change based on the criteria that am I talking about for the moment it was released and how invested in the game it made me compared to how I was, how much playtime I got out of this compared to how much playtime I got out of 2? Or is it just beat for beat, bar for bar, quality for quality? Because if it's the latter of those, it's the best release they've ever done. And I say that without a hint of irony or sarcasm there. It is. It's not better than episode 3, which is not better than episode 2. It's not better than episode 1, though episode 1's probably a very close contender because episode 1 was very good. And season 3 in general was very good, but season 3 was nowhere near the quality that season 4 is. And the further back we go, the worse it gets, the shorter it gets. Season 2 had its real moments, you know, like the Dermot Priory Library and stuff, which is very high on my list. But that's nothing compared to what we get. So by that criteria, my answer can only be it's the best they've done. But you know, if you're asking me for a more nuanced, like, and less relevant, frankly, opinion, which is okay, so how much did episode 3 of Living World season 2 get you versus this episode? That might be harder to answer.
Archival documents and historical relics.
And probably not as black and white to figure out. Right, so
we're going to trounce the Shatterer with fisticuffs, with firepower, until it cries for mercy. But we'll laugh in its face, like this, ha-ha! Then we'll decorate this camp with its head.
Brave words for a wounded man.
It's the duty, nay, the obligation of heroes to encourage the troops.
Obligation.
Need some help with salvage and repair.
Alright, okay, so at the camp, as we walk around, whenever we walk towards various NPCs, they should start speaking. And I think it's phased, So other people, these other players shouldn't be creating a cacophony of audio around us, I think anyway, which is amazing, and I have the pleasure of being able to have reasonable control over what we hear and when we hear it here, which is great. So Farron's in the patch. He does nothing except posture, which is perfect, to be honest. That's what Farron should be about, right? So yeah, that's good. We've got Steelburn up here. Commander, I need functioning outpost. What I've got is a crashed airship and some malfunctioning DERVs. Can you help me? What's the outpost for? Well, the Shatterer knocked Sol Vendetta out of the air. So Sol's Vendetta is the name of her airship, which is a cool name for an airship, considering, you know, that she would have a vendetta against Krauk here. So we're making a pack base out of her.
Could use some help with salvage and repair.
To support General Soulkeeper, who's gone to fight the Shatterer. All right, and yeah, we find her up at that camp. This feels so Heart of Thornsy, this area, doesn't it? Don't you guys think? Even that we're not in the jungle anomaly here, and everything you've heard about this patch where people are like, oh, it feels so much like Heart of Thorns. They're talking about a different area, but this also feels like Heart of Thorns. So yeah, we can just walk towards people, and they will start speaking.
Worst bit about this dragon business? Never know what I'm gonna eat.
Think there might be food in that garrison?
If so, it'll be rotten as week old fish. Supply lines better clear up soon.
Okay. And not all of it's going to blow your mind, but it's all good world building and flavor and, you know, good stuff, basically. There's an earth element up there. These guys doing anything? I guess not. It's heart progress here, by the way. For what it's worth, the heart here is really cool because you actually hitting the dummies progress, is it?
You needed a hero. That much was clear. So here I am. Use me heroically.
Then lug this debris to the gate. Heroically.
That is work unbefitting the Master of Swords.
That's better.
Then you
Let's
can
see
keep
the plan to
standing
get
there.
past that.
No fur off my nose.
Yes, I shall raise the morale of the troops by cutting a dashing figure. Behold.
And he starts emoting away there. Have I noticed that it's not Timey giving us all the answers? She often refers to Blish. This may be a response to people's Timey Ex Machina idea last season, though I never agreed with this. Or it could be she idolizes Blish, or Arenanet trying to develop a connection between Blish and the player character, or Timey has to take a step back and can't concentrate. I hadn't really noticed that, no. I'm willing to believe it, and there really was a problem with that last season. It's not about the frequency of her stepping in to help as much as it was the scale of problems she was solving. Basically, what they did in Flashpoint was way too hand-wavy, and it's not really the character of Timey's fault. It's that she was the one that the hand was waved on, that it was all dumped on, basically. Oh yeah, here's some, you know, it was just way too big of a revelation, way too convenient of a solution, way too big of a revelation with way too big ramifications that they just basically had, oh, she figured it out, yeah, and they, yeah, no, she did it. Oh, but how? The machine. Okay.
Could use some help with salvage and repair.
So yeah, that was a problem last season, I'm afraid to confirm.
She's what, 7 now?
To dogmatically
9, if you can
state.
believe it. She's growing up, and I'm not there.
You're here to help save the world, so she can grow up. Remember that.
So these two talk about their family. I think this guy talks about he's got like some boyfriend back in Divinity's Reach, and they want to get married. And it's way too on the nose for me, and like sappy, but hey, I'm sure some people really appreciate it. Let's come over this way. No. They do have dialogue, that's the thing. These guys do. Like, when we walk back, we might get the other. Both of these conversations, for what it's worth. I don't know, because at the same time, I really like hearing the Asura talk about what's going on back home with them. I guess it's because they're not talking about their relationships.
Anti-brand synergies work.
You'll have to ask an Asura for the technical answer. The short version is, these dervs run on brand crystals.
You mean we modified them to resist the brand?
Precisely. And there were only 2 casualties. Shatterer's getting a nasty surprise.
Have I noticed how every spouse and couple mentioned this episode is gay? No, we literally just had a heterosexual relationship 2 seconds ago. What are you talking about? Literally 2 seconds ago. There's a really good one here where they talk to the College of Dynamics, which is what I'm trying to find now. But I don't know when they trigger it. It is still a little bit fiddly, I guess.
I heard we pinched these golem suits from Rata Primus.
I heard they couldn't make heads or tails of them until the College of Dynamics stepped in.
Here it is.
College of Dynamics, huh? Maybe we shouldn't stand so close to them.
If they were going to explode, they would have by now.
Yeah, so, and also the cool mention of Primus. I must admit, I'm forgetting.
As far as I
First
can tell,
we went...
she's in fine form, beating the troops into passable shape, chewing out new and old recruits. It's like she was born for this.
Interesting. I'd expect this to be difficult for her, given what happened with... you know.
That's it, though. This is her chance. She's here to take a bite out of the Shatterer.
And after the Shatterer?
She'll skin Kralkatorrik and roll his hide into a chew toy for cubs. Don't mess with the Vigil, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, fucking get in there, Almora. Yeah, join Dragon's Watch. Fuck the Vigil. I don't care about the Vigil. We're better. We don't have the firepower or the arms or the numbers or the tactical minds or the enthusiasm, frankly. But we are in the story more, so why don't you join our group? Yeah, this is some cool dialogue for Almora right here. I really like it. I want to see them do something interesting with her. I don't want her to be some tacky casualty at the end of this season. That would be a bit lame, but I can sort of feel that coming. Just get rid of everything to do with the Old Orders. Real will be next, and then we can figure out something to do with Gix, and then Logan will be all that's left, and we have a nice, simple story.
The General said he wasn't ready to return, but that's all right. She's got the battle well in paw.
And now, if we basically walk through again, we can get a whole new set, essentially. But it's a cool place, right? And it adds so much to hear about all these things. I liked this a lot. Even just having Farron in there a little bit. And this is the kind of thing, right?
So, when's the wedding?
Oh, here you go.
Well, we had it planned for next week. But he's all the way in Lion's Arch. And I'm out here. In the Shatterer.
Well, then we'll have to end this quick. Forget the Shatterer. If you have to reschedule, imagine the double catering bills.
See, what I think my problem with this is it's like trying to be a serious, look, these people are sacrificing to come here. And it draws a distance between here and Lion's Arch, which is awesome, right? It makes the world feel really big. And it reminds you of these early places. So I like all of that. But then they just make it like a fun, jokey thing. Like, catering. It's like, come on, man. I don't know. I feel like they sabotage. It's like Bathos, but not even good. It's not even, like, funny. The levity you come out of it just doesn't, like... It doesn't afford you anything. I don't know. Maybe that's what gets to me about it. Because it makes the whole thing just feel tacky in the end. If you want us to feel bad about the sacrifices these troops are making, make us feel bad about the sacrifices these troops are making.
The garrison?
Don't
Find
cop
me some
out
trigger-happy
joking about
hero.
the catering bill.
Frankly, we could use the supplies.
But that's more of just a Guild Wars 2 thing, I think, in general. So, yeah, I forget what I was in the middle of saying. Something about the Vigil, maybe. Yeah, some of them do talk about the Festival of the Four Winds. I put in one of my videos. There is more there, but you got the majority of it right there. I mean, if you're in that situation, wouldn't you make jokes saying we're probably going to die her? They don't need to say we're probably going to die her. They just leave it there. They just let the thought hang in an awkward silence, which is exactly how it would be with the dawning realization you may not see the love of your life ever again because a fucking branded dragon minion is about to tear your throat out. You would sit inside and you'd realize, oh, maybe we don't broach this territory at all. And it would be a little bit somber, a little bit melancholic. And it would make your player feel something from the dialogue. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some times where you can't have your cake and eat it too. I don't know. Look, it's not the worst thing in the world. It just feels a bit tacky. Tacky is the word I'm going to settle on. It's not disaster. It's just a little bit tacky. And besides, it's not even an important area of the patch. Did you see that confused brown cow from the Festival of the Four Winds has returned to the Jai Bluffs? No, has it? Did they reveal that then? Is that the answer? That's the answer. I can't believe it. That's the answer. Confirmed, WP doesn't understand feelings. No, absolutely not. What? So where's the cow? Where is the cow exactly here? Does anybody know in this patch? That's so awesome. I didn't realize that. I got to do a Jahai Bluffs 3 video now just to point that out. If this is correct, don't some of the NPCs in the festival have the new armor? Yes, I did notice that and talked about that pre-release. I posted a picture of the cow on Reddit, and to no surprise, it was received as meek. That's because you are on the inferior subreddit. You want to be on the Wood and Potatoes subreddit, where you will probably get like one comment and a couple of upvotes, but they will be heartfelt, and from me quite often. Oh no, sorry, my disk drive is pinging me there. He's north of Yatendi village. You can get there from the village Vista. Wow, good job with a very concise description there about how to get there too. That's amazing. Let's go. I got to see this cow, man. I got to go see this cow. I think you are looking too into the writers, not the characters. That packed person's dumb joke is their dumb attempt to make him feel better, and you can hear him not being convinced. Look, I get the plausibility of the conversation itself in universe. Yes, I'm looking behind the purpose of it within the game as a format of story delivery within this media structure. That's what I'm looking at. You're right, and maybe that's me being a bit silly. I don't deny that plausibly that conversation could happen between two people at a place, but the fact it could plausibly happen doesn't mean it's of any worth or benefit to the product as a whole. And when I see that there's a potential benefit that is immediately squandered seconds later because they go for that stylistic choice, it feels tacky. It just feels a bit short-sighted, that's all. Maybe WP will also catch the commandos. They appear in the northish area of the Jahai Thought. I do want to see them. I saw somebody tweeted me a gif of them, which was awesome after I talked about it in the video. But, so I've seen what happens. They come out of a portal, they run along, they go into another. They even have voice acting, guys. The commandos have voice acting. Can you believe it? Oh my god, so awesome. They say like, yo, we're not in the right place. Go, 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 go. Like these, oh my god, these like grizzled SWAT dudes. But yeah, so I feel like I've got it all now. I want to lure something to fight them and see if they actually fire their rifles Deadeye style or something. That'll be so sweet. So you griff into the brown cow from the Vista, eh? They're voiced by Brams VA. He does a lot of work, man, for this game. Buy that guy a beer. Do you guys think that those voice actors and actresses, the talent, actually look at the community speculation and stuff? Do you think? That's always been a weird thought to me. Because we're definitely, especially for the really big names as well, when we're talking about, you know, like Logan and stuff. We're dealing with Troy Baker, we're dealing with Steve Bloom for Ritlock and stuff. The big names. I would definitely say Guild Wars feels like more of a fringe community. I can't imagine that many people going up to them and saying, oh, I loved your work as Logan. They'll be talking about like a million other roles, right? So I wonder whether they really look at their reception too when they do some lines on this. Especially for Ritlock. I mean, because he's very actively in it. Alright, okay, so Vista, we'll watch it for funsies first. Steve Bloom looks at the wiki. Yeah, well, they did those behind-the-scenes VODs, didn't they, actually? They did do that. And I remember those. I can't remember if I talked about them on a stream, but I must admit, I was so cynical and incredulous watching those videos. So if people are out of the loop, basically, some of the voice talent did interviews about their characters. And they sometimes get asked lore questions. Like, and one of the simple questions that was being asked to all of them is, what's your favorite thing about X character? So they'd ask like Steve Bloom, what's your favorite thing about Ritlock? What's your favorite thing about the Char? Stuff like this, right? And you gotta understand, I'm like a crouched over, squinty-eyed Scrooge, tenting my fingers like some evil old prick, watching, waiting, snarling at the air, seeing how badly they'll mess up, because clearly I'm cynically sitting there believing that there's no way they actually know or appreciate or care about the lore. Like, that's exactly how I felt watching those videos, and like just listening to their response and seeing how much of it was pulled out of their ass there on the spot, listening to the every little ooh and and immediately condemning them to, oh, look at them stalling for time while they find something to pull out of their ass about this character that they clearly don't care about. They're just in it for the money, and oh, why didn't more people love Guild Wars? That's me when I was watching those videos. Weirdly, I can believe that some of the, you know, much more heavy characters like Timey's VA and stuff are much more into Tyria because they interact with it so much. They must think about their role a lot. Here it is. Look at this crap. It's a bit like I learned just today. You know, I've been binging Star Trek stuff. I realized, so one of the totally overhyped, by the way, but very good, admittedly, characters on Star Trek Deep Space Nine is a character called Garak. Now, the actor for Garak cared so much about his character in that show that while portraying it, he wrote his own fan fiction about the character, a first-person journal about Garak's existence on Deep Space Nine. After the show was over, he got pressured by some friends and colleagues to actually publish it. So there is a novel, a Star Trek novel, written about one of the characters by the actor himself, right? Some of these people really give a massive shit about the roles that they play. Can you imagine if, like, that's the state we had for some aspect of Guild Wars 2? Like, oh, I'd love to believe in that kind of dedication and passion on all ends of the production cycle, you know? Can you imagine that? Oh, I'm so thirsty for that. But no, they clearly don't. All right, I'm done being whining. This is awesome. Look, it's the cow. He's got confusion on him. But wait, was it called Disoriented before? Oh, imagine if they'd got a graphic of the Festival of the Four Winds there. What a cool little mystery. Honestly, what genius figured this out? Alien XE is happy to hear about the Garak thing. It's called A Stitch in Time. I don't know whether it's any good, but just that kind of raw dedication and devotion is what I'm getting at, you know. Yeah, this does confirm that this is unrelated to Mesmer's. Why is it feared so much as well? Does it walk to the edge and get scared and run back to the middle? Oh my god, I think it does. Oh, what is this? Oh, this poor cow. How can we help it? WP, I've been doing a full Trek marathon since February. Do I have a favorite Deep Space Nine episode? No, I don't have any one particular standout. I know the standouts most people will trot out, like Beyond the Pale, In the Pale Moonlight, Beyond the Pale Moon or whatever. Duets, where Kira meets that Cardassian that was just a clerk but pretends to be some criminal, wartime criminal that wants to be executed to bring Cardassia to accountability for its crimes. There's a few that people really like. In general, I'm just a massive fan of the series. It's a shame that they fucked up Gul Dukat and did all the Par-Wraith stuff at the end, but in general, it was a really, really fantastic series. It's light years ahead of any other Trek by a long way. Really, really good. Deep Space Nine is clearly the best, and I'm getting quite far into the original series now as well. Sorry, guys. I know. People don't like Star Trek. I'm getting donations left, right, and center here. What is going on? What is actually going on? Thank you so much. Who is this? Calic 3! Oh, God. Don't joke about the wedding. I had mine yesterday, and it's no joke. Anyway, there is something to celebrate, and thank you for all the years I enjoyed your content. Now, listen, Calic, I know what's going on here. You have cynically done that so that I will turn around and tell everybody in chat to say congratulations to Calic on their wedding. Everybody give him a nice big round of applause. I hope you're having a wonderful... Are you on honeymoon? Why are you watching one of my streams? Is it not started yet? I just like the idea that your spouse wakes up now and realizes, oh god, the first thing in the morning, you're in bed, honeymoon, on the laptop, watching Wood and Potatoes. And yeah, that's their life now. I hope they know what they've brought themselves into. Thanks so much. That's honestly far, far, far too generous of you. Thank you. That's lovely. And to Sarah earlier as well. You guys have really made this worth my time today. That's so lovely of you. Right, I know that you guys have been watching this and thinking, oh god, I'm stalling. It's because in truth, we're basically over time now, and I've just been waiting for a moment to sort of shut up. I don't want to go too far into the next bit of the story here because it's going to get interrupted halfway. But we will go into the first of the distortions and see what we find.
What is this?
You'll never take us, or we'll stand strong!
Did they say or? Commander, what are you seeing?
It's a war between humans and Char.
You mean like the Char invasion of Or? The one that happened centuries ago? Wait a second. Okay. This might sound weird, but I want you to try something. Join the battle. See if you can affect the outcome.
Are you sure?
Trust me, it'll probably be fine.
So, that is what we will do next time. This is a cool moment as well. If you wait for it to reset without participating.
Humans are so fragile. The Vizier's tower's as good as ours. Now we burn ore to the ground.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of different dialogue based on how they start and, you know, who says what. There's an interesting revelation here that the Vizier was not a purely rogue actor in this destruction because the Orions are specifically defending him. Watch this. Watch what they say.
Off till the Vizier can read from the scroll.
For ore!
So look at this. Wow, speaking of Deep Space Nine, this person here is called Maurice. That's interesting. So yeah, basically, they actually were knowingly trying to defend him as he read the scroll. They were loyal to him in this plan, which is amazing, really. And it's a subtle little thing, again, that I actually think makes him less of a villain in a weird way, knowing that he didn't just make this decision purely in a vacuum, that he did have brethren that were comfortable with the destruction of ore. It wasn't just him acting alone, just in insanity with Abaddon. He had peers, and you know, that adds a bit of texture to it that I think is quite important. So yeah, it's nice to sort of see. Not much. It's interesting having a heal skill that gives me stab, you know. I wonder how viable this really is. Maybe it needs like 3 ammo. The devs have never done a balance pass on it, so they clearly believe in it more than the community does. So yeah, and we'll deal more with that next time. We get a really cool poem. Now, I already did a stream talking about the poem, but I will do another one soon. Look at our comp here with all the boon spam and stuff. This is hilarious. Look at this, actually. Look, what is our comp? We've got a Chrono. We've got a warrior who could be running banners and stuff. He's not. He's running something else, right? But he could be running banners. We've got a Tempest here, which is great open world pressure. And a Reaper. It's just like pretty min-max here. It's pretty good. We got the might generation as well. If this guy's running
fight's over.
Blood is power.
Now what?
Just watch for a second and tell me what happens.
Tear those mice apart. Stomp ore into the dust.
Timing, the whole battle just resets. Over and over. It's like I never did anything at all.
That's what I thought. You're in some kind of echo of the past. Yeah, like a recording that can't stop replaying itself. Listen. Oh, if you're near the Vizier's tower, there should be another tower north of it. Climb maybe halfway up, and you'll see a tablet. I want you to read it for me. Sounds silly, but go with me.
All right, and then so we'll go to the tablet, and that's what we'll leave it at. Now, one final comment. You see this guy? An Imperator, right? Imperator Ventus. The Orion Nerys. If you guys are making... I'm going to regret saying this out loud because I wanted to do it for myself. But I'm telling you, this is top quality character name bait here. I would 100,000%... This is one of the first, like, living Orion names we know about that had a crucial role in one of these battles. And a char that we knew went to Ore, an actual name of one. They'd be cool Guild Wars 2 character names. Next time I make a new char, I'll probably be looking to steal this, Ventus. Unless someone else has grabbed it in the meantime.
Stomp ore into the dust.
I like how they use the word mice there as well, because we'd never heard mice that early in the timeline before. It was mostly post Eye of the North and beyond that we were hearing that a lot. I'm not saying that the devs ever suggested it was only created around Eye of the North. We just never heard it until that point. So yeah, okay, there you go. Now, what I'm going to do here is just quickly answer some questions, because I know that you guys have typed a lot here, and I don't want to let you down. Anybody who had any question throughout this stream, and I've just ignored it, because I've been trying to present the game, and I've been trying to, you know, answer other people, please feel free to repost it now. Honestly, you won't look weird. Just literally copy-paste it. You can press the up arrow key on your keyboard and it cycles through past messages on Twitch. So you can do that, and I'll try and respond here. Someone was really grumpy about visiting one of my streams the other day, and I feel like I'm letting people down a lot. So, yeah, I'll try and get some good responses before we leave. Comparing it to King Adalburn summoning the faux fire. Was Adalburn a rogue actor? That's an interesting thought. Was Adalburn more rogue than the Vizier was in Ore? It's a crazy thought, isn't it? Is that book a Weaver thing? No, that's the legendary focus, the Binding of Ippos. Any class that uses focus can get that. It looks awesome on mounts too. Here, I'll show you on a mount. If we equip our weapon, we always read the book out in front of us, and it never clips. It looks really good. Really love that thing. What else we got? The shit I hate about this, they made this whole section of the map like this, but did not do anything on this section of the map. No event on this area, nothing. Literally, it's just for that scene. Well, there's a daily jumping puzzle you come back to every time there if you want the daily for the map. There's reasonable amounts of speculation. I mean, how much do you want? It's just a small part of the map that nonetheless has a lot of voice acting and story thing. I mean, there's so many areas of the game that you only go to once for that bit of story. I think it's fine. Look, it's not this patch's duty to give you prime ore as replayable full map content, right? It's a little nod. You think this is to establish we can't change the past? Yes, that's a very good thing to point out as well. Maybe we'll remind people of that tomorrow. But yeah, these distortions don't actually... They're echoing. They're like fractals. I bet the devs are really wringing their hands over whether they use that description. But yeah. It's pitch black out, guys. It's pitch black. What is this, man? It's only 7:30 at night, and it's pitch black. Whatever. Have I seen your DM? Very unlikely, Dusty. I've not really used any social media the past few days. I've been very worn out and not feeling very good, so I've kind of been avoiding a lot of stuff the past few days. Hey, man, it's been ages since I've seen a stream. Good to be back. Just wondering, is Bat-Tatoes a thing yet? Oh, Jarek, it's good to see you, dude. Oh, my God. No, I never made that in the end. I do still have a notepad, though, with the Bat-Tato on it and a few other potatoes that I was going to make. I've just not got around to it. We mostly use fan cams now. I've got like 3 or 4 new ones as well I still want to show people. If you really insist, I could see whether I can make it at some point, because that was a little fun idea, definitely. What do you think about the Ancestor Tree and the time-traveling armor? I haven't started the armor stuff, so I don't know about that meta just yet. Give us serious answers to the question mark locations questions. Can Palawa Joko awaken himself? Oh, we'll do that on the next stream when we go to the mushrooms. I'll try to remember to do that. That will be very funny. If you're there tomorrow, literally 24 hours, we'll be there. You can give, and we'll do another gem giveaway, guys, as well. So now is the time to click follow or whatever to remind yourself this stream. Do you also get the Scepter Snake when you're on the mount? I can't remember. I was told this. I think it goes away. What do you think about the gap between the Desolation and Jahai with Vabi? I don't like it at all. So what we're talking about here is this. I think it's ugly. But it can be fixed with a map like this. And I hope they do it. I mean, this would be a weird map. But if the portal only unlocks when you go get that far in the story, it could make sense in the end. But yeah, I think it's a bit ugly. What I'm really thinking is Marga Coast. And yes, very deliberately does come out into the water so that later it can connect like that for the Mittani keys and stuff. But I'm thinking a Marga Coast map. And then one like to the north and off to the side like this here or something. Which has got the Krauk finale. I don't know. I'm drawing very big boxes here. Considering that this was the size of this. Actually, no, that's not true, is it? This one was more like this. Anyway, I don't know. I don't like that gap, though. Do you think they're moving over to Season 5 because they want to unite the season from the untie seasons from the expansion? So the next season is available for all paid accounts, not just Path of Fire. Maybe there's been some speculation on that, yes, that it would go all over Tyria a bit like Season 3 was. I don't know for sure. There's more wild theories that there's never going to be another expansion, that they're doing Guild Wars 3, I mean, it's a weird time. It is a very strange time. This next year and a half, I think we'll reveal a lot of things. Not really a question, just a comment about the Twitter thing. The only thing that bugs me out of Twitter is that it's working mainly with Instagram, doesn't let you post pics on Twitter, so I got to do it separately, which takes time. So it's not that I dislike it, it's just annoying. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Is the Space of Ore real? If the distortion was gone, would it be total bedrock there like the rest of the walls? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. You mean where the distortion took the stuff out of ore I don't think so. I think if the distortion goes away, everything returns back to normal, as we've seen elsewhere. When those trees pop in elsewhere and then they disappear again, that's just immaculate, isn't it? It's very clean and like nothing ever happened when the distortion goes away. So I think that happens on both ends. Can I do more streams on NA? I have no school tomorrow, and I would love to play with you. Tomorrow is going to be a North America stream. It is indeed, so you can go have fun with that. Do you think Ark and Krauk will have to go inside the mists? Ark? What, the Fractals character? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Do you remember that episode of Voyager where Kes goes into a death coma on an alien planet and Janeway has to throw out all of her scientific, logical skepticism in favor of faith, and the whole episode is about how faith is better than logic and intelligence? I remember coming away from many Voyager episodes feeling that the moral they were preaching was not as highbrow as it was in the TNG days, or as interesting, or as thoughtful, or as philosophical as in the TNG days. Actually, and the more I speak, I don't remember anything to do with Kes, but I do remember an episode where Janeway is just made to just forget everything and trust not in science and all that stuff, and I was very sour about that episode, indeed. I do remember that. I don't remember, was that about Kes, really? But yeah, I remember an episode forcing Janeway to abandon all logic and science. And then the end, the stinger of the episode was like, doesn't she take some memento from it, and she keeps the memento suggesting she'll change as a character a bit? And that's such a shit thing to do as well, because the fundamental interesting thing about her was her science roots as a captain, as opposed to the many other captains that the franchise has portrayed. But, and then they just, do that. It's like, that's the wrong kind of character growth. Just back to Guild Wars 2. I have a bunch of max tunes, but now I don't know about the raids. What should I come back to do? Just start working your way through Fractals and playing the story and getting all your masteries done. That'll keep you busy for many, many, many hours. Don't worry about raids. What's my favorite potato dish? Probably potato skins stuffed with cheese and bacon and sour cream dip or something, probably. Can't go wrong with Jack Potato either. Alright, there is a DM. It's about emotes, so it isn't important. Okay, I will. I notice I've got quite a few building up. I will look, don't worry. Mad Mind said, would it make sense to investigate the Masat homelands to the north now that we are moving into very mist-heavy story? Potentially, but I think the devs have been pretty express about moving on from the Masat. I think it would be a weird situation to go from episode 6 last season back into Masat's story now. And especially with the way that they close things out with Bastion. I think the devs have been showing a very real desire to get away from the Masat now. They're cack-handed. Oh no, this is the real Lazarus now. And now the real Lazarus is dead. Okay, it was the extinction or the fulfillment of the prophecies. All that, they would never have done if they were still interested in talking about the Masat. I think that they wanted to offer that to fans like you and me and then move on. And I think we're on now. Hey WP, do you have any great Halloween potato cams? I have some great footage of dark rainy nights in Sweden. Dude, I don't. I'd love a great Halloween cam. I will accept any and all cams, honestly. I was going to make a really, really silly joke there. I think the entrance to Vabi, you come from underground, so it could work. Yeah, I mean, they deal with the logistics of why we skip it all. It just feels ugly from a map perspective. What is the best content for a returning player? Oh, it's a hard question to answer. All the budget goes into Living World and the new maps and all that story. So if you're a returning player, catching up with the story is going to be the best content for you, especially if you can get one mate to play it with you, and have that co-op experience. The best actual content in the game is PvP, but the infrastructure came in so late that really the community isn't there right now, and so it's a hard one to recommend. I will always recommend PvP if you think you can go for it, because it is the ultimate Guild Wars 2 experience. Every facet of every skill is interesting. It's got the best build craft. It's got the best moment-to-moment gameplay. It's got the highest reward for the highest level thinking. It's the most addictive. It's the best that Guild Wars has. But most people never get to a level where they really appreciate that. There's no good tutorials or beginner guides out there. And what's left of the community is cynical, twatty, and self-defeating. So, and the kind of raw time and passion and dedication and enthusiasm it will take a caster to get it all off and turning into something is going to be nearly impossible to find. This has come from someone who spent a good chunk of this year dedicated to it at a loss, viewership-wise, financially, everything-wise, and until I just kind of stopped. But it is a beautiful part of the game. That's the best part of the game. Second bet, with a fair clip down, raiding is very, very good when you're into it, but will become boring and dry and, you know, been there, done that very quickly. PvP will never do that, but raids will eventually just get to that point where it's like, I'm sort of done with it now. And then under that, and so those are sort of your big ones. And then there's just sort of the recurring stuff you can do. Fractals. Wild vs. Wild is fun for some people, and I personally don't identify too much with it in the current state it's in, but when alliances come in, that could be good, but that's not for a long time. That would be all my advice to a new player. At this point, I'm pretty sure they want all of Season 4 to be in the desert. Season 5 would be the first map while outside. But this is what I said earlier, man. Look at this. There's so much desert left. I want the rest of Istan. Come on, man. Don't do this to me. I want the rest of Istan. I want my tropical paradise. All right. At least give me this. Give me like 3 more desert maps. All right. And then between Season 4 and 5, between Season 4 and 5, give me a freebie where we're all on vacation with little parasails in our drinks, you know, kicking back on the white sandy beaches, chilling out. And I don't mean like a festival. I want a full release, just funsies there. Yeah, is that cool? I'm basically asking for the Festival of the Four Winds. I don't know, man. And anyway, this is all irrelevant because Season 5 is Season 1. How do I think Season 4 will end? With the death of Kralkatorrik. Or the replacement, I should say, of Kralkatorrik. And perhaps the death of a Destiny's Edge character. Don't know which. Dragon's Watch, sorry. Maybe Destiny's Edge. What are your hopes regarding expansions? I'd like to go to Cantha. There's a ton of areas. There's so much that the setting and the world building has to give. That the devs can follow old feet, or they can find new paths. It's up to them. It just depends on how profitable the game is and what the studio plans for its second game, and you know, and all that other stuff. So we'll see where they shift all their finances to and their money to. WP, oh sorry, people are spamming. Oh my god, guys, you're typing too much. I was gonna go, people. Look at this. This is why Q&A doesn't happen anymore. This is why super Q&As don't happen anymore. Because look at this. As far as I can tell, the distortions are all along the Grand Cataract, and the spaces between the bubbles are real, so I think it's safe to assume the rest of the spaces are too. Neelix is growing on you. Neelix is really creepy and a weird character. Listen, Voyager is the worst of the 3 from the 90s era because it basically doesn't have good characters. They don't do enough with Tom Paris. They don't do enough with Harry Kim. They don't do enough with Neelix. They definitely don't do enough with... I can't remember her name. We were literally talking about it a second ago. And then in the later seasons, they just make it all about 7 of 9, who was a good character. There's 2 good characters on that show. Janeway's alright, but alright is a pretty low bar to hit considering she's your captain. So she's an alright character. The Doctor is incredible and will grow on you over time. Doctor was probably the best. Picardo was amazing, basically. And 7 of 9 was also a very good character, but ended up getting way too much attention. That's it, though. That's all that Voyager has. You look at, like, Deep Space Nine, there's, like, 9 series regulars. They're all really deeply fleshed out, interesting, cool, fun characters to deal with. And then all the secondary characters there as well. Like Dukat and Garrick and Nog and Rom, and Quark is a regular, right? But even people like Damar, right? Kai Wynn, what a brilliant villain. Voyager was just so poorly handled. I'm so disappointed in the fucking decisions that a 20-year-old TV production show made. But whatever, it was a time of syndication and Deep Space Nine, for as good as it was, lost a lot in ratings because people couldn't follow it because, you know, on-demand content wasn't such a thing back then. Did you know that Farron goes away at the Vigil waypoint once he's in the refuge, making it temporary dialogue, and goes away once you do the legacy story step? No, I'm aware that a lot of that is happening in this release, and that disappoints me immensely if it's account bound, which I'm sad to believe it is, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with that. What can I say? Inquest was starting Masart phasing into ability. Yeah, the P2 stuff was really, really cool in Arab, but again, I don't think we're going to touch on much more Masart stuff. Yeah, the pockets of time and the distortions can definitely give us glimpses, but it will always be on the level of that Orion thing we had. And listen, be careful what you wish for, guys, because that is accepting... How do I phrase this? This Orion thing, this is cool, okay? And it is cool, and I love that they did it, and I love that they went for it, right? But at the end of the day, it is no substitute for the real thing. This is not... This is like pretty barren. These aren't new assets. They're not particularly interesting foes around. This is not anywhere near the level that seeing Ore in its prime in a real invasion of Ore from the hands of the Char could be like, given an actual season, given an expansion. Do you know what I mean? Given the real treatment. So this is nice, and I'm willing to have it as a nice little thing. However, be careful what you wish for in terms of constantly wanting this. Because what you're going to allow the devs to do, or give the devs confidence to do, is to constantly give these shitty little bite-sized underperforming things and start relying on them. This is nice as a little treat here, but it should never form the backbone of future story development. And it should never be the backbone of satisfying story debt either. That's what I'm trying to say. If this was consistently happening, if next release they do the same thing, except now we're learning something about, you know, the Isles of Janthir. We get to go to the Isles of Janthir, but it's literally just using the Ring of Fire Island chain asset pool, you know, and the strongholds we saw there. I will be very disappointed, right? And if they do that again, the patch after, and now we're learning about the Blood Legion homelands. We see the Blood Citadel. In a time-space distortion, we see the Blood Citadel when they were building it 200 years before the invasion. Oh my god, it's so cool, guys. Except it looks exactly like the Black Citadel. And it's, you know, that is accepting less in a pretty horrendous way. It should never be that. This was nice. Let's leave it there. That's what I'm kind of thinking. But I get people's excitement. What am I on again? I'm on Original Series right now. Once I get through Original Series, I'm on to Archer with Enterprise, which I know everybody says is terrible, but I'm going to watch that. And then I get onto Discovery. And apparently Discovery is nothing like Star Trek at all, and it's because they have to follow the... It's basically because of licensing issues, as far as I now understand, because they can only follow the Kelvin timeline instead of the Prime timeline, and it has to aesthetically look different, otherwise... CBS will do him in, but the guy at CBS doesn't even like Star Trek, so... But he might be about to get fired because he was in the Me Too hashtag involvement and he sexually abused women who have come out against him, so now if he gets fired, they might get a Star Trek fan in so they can unite the timelines, but toys aren't selling well. I don't know. It's a shit show, man. It's a shit show. PvP isn't that good. WP is just a fanboy. It is very, very, very good. You can ignore that. PvP is very, very, very good. The things that hold it back are on the community level. The actual content that's there. Okay, the community level and the developer level is because the budget isn't there. And, I mean, they're asking their PvP team to be Supermen, basically. And I hope they are, PvP team. PvP team. Our fate is in your hands, Obi-Wan. Our fate is in your hand. Okay, PvP is so easy to get burnt out with. I disagree, but you know, different strokes for different folks. It's my opinion on what is really good about the game at the moment. You say no, Masart, but what if we return to a time where the original Elder Dragon fight took place? I mean, yeah, in another game, in a full expansion, in a full season and stuff. But look, what I'm talking about is what the devs seem to want, and they don't seem to want to keep going with Masart stuff. Otherwise, you would not have seen them do what they did. I don't think, anyway. It's crazy that the ingredients needed to make Episode 4 have been in the game since before Path of Fire. What do you mean by that? Like assets and stuff? I'm really starting to think you're right about Season 5. I keep seeing subtle callbacks to that stuff. I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid here. It's really bad. There's actually serious echo chamber. What is that called? Where you ironically say something and you actually start getting convinced by your own medicine. What is that? It's bad. I'm really starting to get excited by it. Season 5 is Season 1. Let's do it. Who do you think the next Elder Dragon will be? Kralkatorrik. After that, I don't know. Anybody's guess. Not Primordus, those. Please, ArenaNet. Please. Please. I promise I will be happy as long as you leave Primordus for last. Please! Do you feel like Guild Wars 1 had better world building than Guild Wars 2? And if so, would Guild Wars 2 struggle with introducing an entirely new setting as opposed to returning to Guild Wars 1 locations? I'm wanting something new, but blah, blah, blah. It's a really weird question you ask there that you can't really encapsulate in the way that you just have. What is world building? What constitutes that? If you look just blow for blow, quantity of facts about the setting, Guild Wars 2 can only be better because it has all the GW1 stuff and then another 250 years of history and plot development and races added in and all kinds of new perspectives and things. And it really is way deeper, and there is so much more in Guild Wars 2. It's such a difficult thing to ask because it's clearly not just about the quantity of work. Like, why does it feel like they don't present so much in Guild Wars 2? Is it just because now you're very familiar with it and you don't think about it that much? Guild Wars 1 was much more shallow on basically every level. You just might have enjoyed it more listening to it in retrospect than you realized playing. I don't know. I think Guild Wars 2 does well enough. And the whole question of how can they introduce a new setting to us is a totally different thing. I haven't seen Discovery yet, so I don't know. Sorry. WP, you're killing me with so much Deep Space Nine talk. Just give us a proper Let's Watch where we can just sit down and properly dig into the series. Wei Yun was my jam. I watched an interview with the guy who played Wei Yun. I didn't realize he's Deputy Inspector Brunt as well. And he's also that creepy alien that tries to get a holo video of Kira for his private holo suite as well in like an earlier episode. The guy is really weird, but he's kind of cool. I like him a lot. The actor, I mean. And yeah, I don't know. I should do that thing that the angry video game nerd did way back in the day, where he would basically let's play movies, but he'd only release the commentary track, and he'd make you watch the movie, put it on your TV, and he'd say 3, 2, 1, play, and then the movie would play, and you'd hear him and his mates chatting about it and what it meant to them, you know, and they do it with like things like Ghostbusters and stuff. Can you imagine that for a full Trek series? It would probably get a lot of views as well. Trek geekdom is huge. What if we get a map in the mists? I'd be game for it. Go meet Mitrin and the Aether Blades. Flag, hey, want to draw the lottery today or do it? Let's do it tomorrow, man. My throat's roaring. I'm trying to leave. Let's do it tomorrow. But you have to remind me, Flag, because I will forget. And can we do it early on the stream? I don't want to interrupt the story playthrough in the middle with the lottery. Do you think we will see anything from the Human Gods next season? Maybe. They've got reason to. They've got reason not to. I'm satisfied with how much God stuff we're getting at the moment. Alien XC says Discovery is so good. Alright, well, I'll see when I see. Apparently Discovery's nothing like Star Trek, though, so... Hated every second of Discovery, says a Jules. I think people are definitely split on it. Because, it's just... It's not really the same show anymore. Well, Discovery is a shitty show, so shit show is fitting. Alright, scrolling down. The concept art rotating on the stream made me realise something. They are definitely working on the next expansion. Where not that the case, loading screens for living season maps would have art from the guys that work on the expansions. That art was released from Heart of Thorns and POF. I'm not sure I really fully get what you're saying there, but I like the optimism. If they do a Future Dragon expansion, we need a Double Trouble expansion with Primordus and Jormag at once. The logo would be the Guild Wars 2 logo with the upper head of 2 being Jormag and the lower half being Primordus. Leave those 2 dragons for last. You want a fire versus ice at the end? Yeah, maybe, but as long as within that expansion, Primordus is last, all right? Have him duke it out, have Primordus win, leave, and then we nail him. Both you and Boots have showed how much water combat has been revamped, and we have the new water tab in the trait page. Perhaps we'll finally get to see Bubbles. I don't think those two things have ever been tied. They could have shown us the underwater dragon without touching underwater combat. Just because it's an underwater combat, an underwater dragon doesn't mean we have to meet it underwater, fight it underwater, interact with it underwater, or anything to do with the actual systems of underwater. They can even give us a full fight against an elder dragon, but doesn't have regular combat, as we saw they did with the airship fight on Zaitan. And I'm not suggesting they debase their game to a simple matter of pressing 2 again, but they might, basically give us a game within a game. But yeah, I mean, people like to latch onto that, and you're welcome to it. I just think it's a bit of a shallow thought line. Cass and Jory were following Krauk and could easily have gotten stuck in one of the rifts. We've lost communication with them. They returned to Season 1, where they were prominent characters. They're staying there as they had no airtime this season. Okay, that's silly, but what you have just made me realise, more ammo for Season 5 equals Season 1, is Casimir and Jory aren't much in this season because they're doing a dick ton of voice acting for Season 1 re-implementation. That's why. That's why they're not in this season much. Because, yeah, Taimi really doesn't become a big character for a while. Who remembers? Tell me in chat. I remember very clearly. When does Taimi first appear? When does she first appear? Shit, that would also explain why Logan hasn't had too much to say. Because he's got a bit of a role to play. They got Air's voice actress back. Oh, well, minor spoilers here. They got Air's voice actress back for this patch. And they could have had her going to do that. Marionette, there you go. Somebody very clearly. See, the Marionette. It wasn't Season 2. It was Marionette, though. And she didn't even really do... She was very nondescript in that patch. And she was very nondescript the patch after. And then finally she started talking a bit more. They sewed her in very slowly and steadily. So, and most of her character development stuff was Season 2, which we can currently play. So, yeah, Taimi really wasn't that big role. For most of, like, the Molten Alliance, the Aether Blades, the Toxic Alliance, a ton of the stuff. Scarlet's intro. Give us a Benjamin Sisko impression. Have you noticed the voice actor kind of starts to sing when he raises his voice? I can't do an impression of him, but I have to say, I don't really like his like, voice patterns. Like, the way he speaks. He's very stop-starty with the way he speaks, and I don't know, it's, you have to be able to pull off a degree of melodrama to make that stuff work, and that's totally fair. But, I mean, I got used to him, obviously, but I always felt a bit off-put by his performance, to be honest. But he's a cool captain, obviously. Had to make the hardest decisions of them all. Thank you for saying this, WP. The amount of people that overblow how Guild Wars 1 did things compared to Guild Wars 2 is appalling. Guild Wars 1 was a very good game for its time, but Guild Wars 2 does almost everything better. Yes, it does. And you're absolutely right. There's serious nostalgia goggle problems, and there's serious ones. I'm beginning to believe that it's one of the things that humans are very bad with when it comes to objectivity, is looking at the past. That's why you get all these grumpy old fucks that make horrendous political decisions, ranting on about the good old days in the 70s, which were, in truth had problems X, Y, and Z, and things weren't actually that much better. But it's just all that nostalgia goggles. It just ruins people's objectivity and understanding of the world around them. And we're all subject to it. Every day we get older is another opportunity to get nostalgia goggles about some aspect of our lives, our societies of which we've been a part or whatever. Sad stuff. Anyway, Jarek says, I'm going to go sleep. It was great being back. Is there a regular streaming schedule? There was never one that really went away, man. Yeah, every weekend and Monday. It will be great to see you more, dude. Cheesy writing is just something that comes with Star Trek. Yeah, it certainly is. I'd agree. I mean, it's not really that high caliber, to be honest, a lot of the time. It's borders on soap opera, borders on melodrama, borders on... I mean, a lot of it... it's the kind of TV I miss, though, in a lot of ways. Taimi was just before the attack on Lion's Arch. No, she first appeared, I'm pretty sure, at the Marionette. She was standing at one of the... routes up towards the Marionette, talking about how she was like a fan of Scarlet's almost. I remember that was one of her first things. Was Air's voice actress always the voice of Glint? I'm not really sure what voicing Glint's had in the game up to this point. It wouldn't surprise me if she was. Timey. No, I mean, back in Guild Wars 1, no, it was definitely someone else. It was an old lady in that one, I think. Or a woman that did a very good old lady approximation. Yeah, and she was also very briefly in it for The Edge of the Mists. I can't remember what release it was that her short story introduction was released. Do you think we will see anything from the Human Gods next season? Oh my god, people are still posting that. I already answered that. But that was quite recent. How did you not hear my answer? Best situation, Season 5, Episode 0 is all of Season 1. Suddenly, for free. And then a few months later, Season 5 begins. They blow our socks off. And just like the old feature packs, in one release, they give us all the technical debt and gameplay debt we've been wanting from the beginning. You're talking like build templates? They use the Sun's Refuge as a model to completely reinvent the home instance and restructure the new player instance. Yes, that is the best situation, but we have to have a degree of reality here, right? That's not going to happen, is it? Here's the real discussion that needs to happen, and I encourage any of you to go do your own streams on this. If you were going to reimagine Season 1 into the current format, how many episodes would it be? How many chapters, sorry, would it be? And where would the break-offs be? So, episode 1 would probably be called Flame and Frost, and it would be about the Molten Alliance. Episode 2 would probably be called The Tower of Nightmares, and it would deal with the Tower of Nightmare. Well, no. So, episode 1 would probably be called Trouble at South Sun. And it would deal with both. It would deal with the attack on Lion's Arch, which would be the very beginning. So you'd beat Zhaitan and then go to the attack on Lion's Arch at the House of the Karka. So it'd be attack on Lion's Arch, capturing South Sun, capturing Kanak, and then and then there were two big patches where one of them we returned to South Sun. You'd roll that all in together. You'd shuffle the timeline and you'd have that all at the start, maybe. Maybe that would be like chapter 1, or maybe you wouldn't have to do that. Why am I even saying that? Anyway, you'd have like episode 1 would be that. Episode 2 would be Flame and Frost, introducing Bram, Rox, the refugee camps, the attacks, the bodies, the volcanic activities, the volcanic dungeon in full, which is much bigger than the two pieces we get in Fractals. Next one would be Tower of Nightmares with all of that and the Toxic Alliance. Next one would be, and so then it starts getting interesting. How do you do the Crown Pavilion stuff? Where Scarlet was first revealed and Ritlock and Logan have their duel in front of all the people and stuff. How do you start doing that? We're already 4 episodes in at that point. You're probably only going to want it to be like 6, no? Battle for Lion's Arch would be the last one, obviously. With the reveal of Scarlet dying and Morgemoth. How do you fit the marionette in? It's like a huge job. It's such an exciting job. I would work for minimum wage doing that at that studio in a heartbeat. I would pour my heart and soul into that for like 2 years. How cool would that be? Reimagining and implementing that crap. I don't know. For earlier that the cow confirms that it's not Lissa for Mesmers. I had a brain fart. Oh, that was a while ago, was it? We need a whole episode fixing signs. Somehow I don't think that's a good idea. Where do festivals come into this? Does the Halloween story count as season 1? No, I don't think it should. No. Why would it? I think you'd have to make a convincing case for why it should, rather than a convincing case for why it shouldn't. For minimum wage, you're going to live in the studio? No, I'll go home and I'll just work as hard as I can on YouTube at the same time and try and hope that helps make things ends meet. I'd be so excited for the Breach, Lion's Arch. No map has matched that feeling for me. All the red everywhere, the sadness I felt for the people. Yeah, and like seeing Evan close the gates just for money and stuff. It's good stuff. All right, there you go. I've finally caught up. I hope you guys enjoyed that Q&A. I should not have done this. My throat really hurts. Thank you all. It's been wonderful. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will be back tomorrow for more Long Live the Lich. Not Long Live the Lich. A star to guide us. It's because I have it turned on in game. So there you go, guys. Cheers, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you tomorrow.